Douluo I am an ice shooter invincible in ice power. Chapter 126-150. Chapter 126 Only Yi Lingling. After listening to Xiao Han's description, Shui Qinghei's face showed an extremely shocked look. Only then did she understand that Xiao Han could make such great progress in just a few months, all thanks to the power of the two Dragon Balls. In this world, I am afraid that only Xiao Han can absorb the two Dragon Balls, because only he has the physique with compound conditions. Brother Xiao Han, your experience along the way is thrilling and exciting, it is really amazing. In fact, when I think back on it, I also feel that this journey is full of incredible things. I can only say that my luck is not bad. Luck is also part of strength. You can tell me this, which means that you have regarded me as a real friend. After Shui Qinghei finished speaking, her face suddenly changed, and she turned the conversation between the two to the main topic. Brother Xiao Han, the death of the three grandfathers and grandsons of the Jin family has a wide impact, and I have to do it myself. Xiao Han nodded gently. Brother Shui, the Jin family father and son committed many evil deeds in Tianshui City, and they deserve to die. What happened? Tell me in detail. Okay. Afterwards, Xiao Han told Shui Qinghei in detail about the evil deeds of the Jin family father and son and the reasons why he had to do such a cruel thing. After listening to Xiao Han's narration, Shui Qinghei couldn't help but frown. The behavior of the Jin family and his son is indeed outrageous, but as a baron of the empire, Jin Tianjun's status is of great importance. Xiao Han's move is undoubtedly a direct challenge to the majesty of the empire. Xiao Han, I understand your difficulties. The Jin family and his son really deserve to die, but you killed them directly, which made His Majesty very angry. There was a hint of helplessness in Shui Qinghei's words. She also wanted to save Xiao Han, but this matter was very difficult to deal with. Recently, the western border of the empire is being invaded by wolf bandits, and the people are suffering terribly. Your Majesty is troubled by this matter. It just so happens that at this time, you made such a big noise again, and he is even more angry. Hearing this, Xiao Han's eyes flashed with excitement. Brother Shui, I am willing to go to the western border of the empire to destroy the wolf bandits. Shui Qinghei was stunned for a moment. Do you know anything about wolf bandits? Yes. I heard that they are a combination of the wind demon wolf and humans. They are ferocious, cunning, bloodthirsty, and have strong fighting power. Shui Qinghei nodded slightly. You know quite a lot at your young age. Both empires sent troops to encircle and suppress the wolf thieves. The Wuhun Palace even sent out a legion of soul masters, but they were not able to wipe out all of them. They were too cunning. Leave it to me, I will find a way. Xiao Han knew that the leader of the group of wolf thieves had a soul bone on his body. Although they are powerful and ferocious, he is confident enough to deal with them. Shui Qinghei was thoughtful, with a happy smile on his face. Brother Xiao Han, do you really want to surround and suppress the wolf bandits? Certainly. This is a good idea. You lead people to surround and suppress the wolf bandits. As long as you can kill them, even if you can't wipe them all out, it is still a big achievement. Maybe you can make up for it. If you can wipe them out completely, Feng, it's not a problem to be promoted to an official position. Xiao Han waved his hand disapprovingly. I don't care about the empire's officials, I just don't want to make things difficult for you. Besides, killing the wolf thieves is just like killing the Jin family father and son. It is the responsibility of soul masters like us to eliminate harm for the people. Shui Qinghei was even happier. Brother Xiao Han, you are serious. As far as I know, there are hundreds of wolf thieves in that group and they should not be underestimated. However, I fully believe in your ability. If you really want to go, I can arrange manpower for you. This time, I want to catch them all. There are too many people going, and it is easy to alert the snake. I plan to take my 7 senior sisters with me. Just the 8 of you. Xiao Han nodded confidently and then said. If you are worried, lend me someone. Who is it? Our team lacks a therapist. It would be great if Yi Lingling could accompany us. I heard that she has extremely strong group healing abilities. Are you referring to the 9-hearted Begonia Spirit Master from the Royal Academy team? Exactly. Don't worry, I will ensure her safety. Shui Qinghe thought for a while and said, I will inform your majesty when I get back. This matter should be feasible. Just wait for my news. Good. Shui Qinghe chatted with Xiao Han for a while, and then left Xiao Mansion. After Ji Qingbo absorbed the soul bone, his soul power increased by 1 level. Xiao Han told several people the contents of his conversation with Shui Qinghe, and briefly described the wolf bandits to them. The girls were very excited when they learned that they were going to hunt down the wolf bandits. It is very meaningful to kill wolf bandits and eliminate harm for the people. Yes, we can finally fight together again. It would be great if that awesome therapist could come with us. Xiao Han said. The strength of the wolf bandits cannot be underestimated. They may be more ferocious and cunning than we imagined. For us, this is an opportunity to exercise in a huge challenge. This time, I want to eradicate them completely. Wipe out. Well, we can definitely do it. Then let's wait for the good news from His Royal Highness. The girls all believe in Xiao Han. With Xiao Han around, they have nothing to fear. Shui Qinghe returned to Tiando City and told Emperor Shui Yi about Xiao Han's thoughts. Emperor Shui Yi was very happy and agreed to the matter, and said that if Xiao Han could successfully exterminate the wolf bandits, not only would he not be held responsible for killing the Jin family's grandfather and grandson, but they would also be rewarded heavily. After all, the pack of wolves and thieves is really a headache. Dealing with them consumes time, energy, and money, but with little effect. Emperor Shui hoped that someone could completely eliminate them. Xiao Han offered to go, which was exactly what he wanted. Shui Qinghe found Yi Lingling and told her Xiao Han's thoughts. Yi Lingling didn't think much and agreed readily. Later, Shui Qinghe ordered people to send Yi Lingling to Tianshui City. Xiao Han received news from Shui Qinghe in advance and learned that Yi Lingling would come. During this period, Shui Binger and others stayed in Xiao Mansion to prepare for their trip. Yi Lingling finally arrived. Shui Binger and Xiao Han went out to greet them. Yi Lingling got off the carriage. She is slender, dressed in black, with a layer of black gauze covering her face, and her long blue hair like a waterfall hanging down her back, giving people a cool feeling. Seeing Xiao Han and others, Yi Lingling lifted her veil and said softly, Hello, my name is Yi Lingling. I'm glad to be with you all. As Yi Lingling spoke, her eyes showed no emotion. From her body, she could feel a strong sense of loneliness. Even though she knew it was dangerous to go to hunt down the wolf bandits, she was still willing to go along. Everyone admires her. Shui Binger stepped forward, took Yi Lingling's hand enthusiastically, and said with a smile, Lingling, I'm glad you can come. Come in quickly. Chapter 127 Martial Spirit Evolution. The Juxin Haitang martial spirit is the smallest martial spirit in the entire continent. It is passed down from a single lineage. There are only 2 Juxin Haitang spirit masters alive at the same time. Although they possess powerful healing abilities, their fate seems to be cursed. The appearance of a 9-hearted begonia spirit master means that the life of another 9-hearted begonia spirit master has come to an end. Yi Lingling could not escape the shackles of fate. When she awakened the Juxin Haitang martial spirit, her grandmother died. Therefore, from the time she awakened the 9-hearted begonia martial spirit and lost her grandmother, a shadow had been cast on her heart, and she did not want to communicate with others. Xiao Han once mentioned Yi Lingling to Shui Binger and others, so they also knew the fate of the Juxin Haitang clan. When meeting Yi Lingling, Shui Binger acted very enthusiastically, like a friend. Yi Lingling entered the house with everyone. Xiao Han introduced the senior sisters to her one by one, and then asked Shui Binger to take her back to her room to rest. After dinner, Xiao Han and Shui Binger came to Yi Lingling's room together. How is it? Are you still used to it? Fortunately, it's the same everywhere. We should be able to set off soon, right? Yes. The wolf bandits are extremely cruel and cunning, and it may even be life-threatening to deal with them. I didn't expect you to agree so readily. I also want to do my best to do something for the people who have been harmed by wolf bandits. But I can't help you much. I can only provide you with treatment. Shui Binger smiled and said, Lingling, that's enough. You are really important to our team, and your role is irreplaceable. Binger is right. By the way, what is your current soul power level? Yi Lingling was stunned for a moment and replied. My soul power is only level 39, and I am at the bottleneck of breaking through level 40. Compared with you, there is a huge gap. Shui Binger took the words. Ling Ling, to be honest, the soul power of the few of us has been able to increase so quickly, all because of Xiao Han. Yi Lingling looked at Xiao Han curiously, feeling that the young man in front of him seemed to have some kind of magical power. Xiao Han then asked. I heard that no matter how many soul rings you have as a nine-hearted begonia soul master, you only have one area of effect healing skill. Well, that's it. The healing ability depends on our own strength and intention. If you have one more soul ring, your healing ability will be greatly improved. That's right. The healing ability will increase with the improvement of soul power. Every time we cross a level, our healing ability will increase to a higher level. Yi Lingling suddenly thought of something. You don't want to wait until my soul power breaks through level 40 and obtain the fourth soul ring before you go out to hunt down the wolf bandits, do you? Xiao Han nodded slightly. Yi Lingling immediately objected. No need to wait for me, I still have some time before I can break through level 40. If we set out early to deal with the wolf bandits, the people on the border will suffer less. Shui Binger held Yi Lingling's arm and smiled. Lingling, you are so kind. However, you think too much. Xiao Han can help you break through level 40 now. Now. Yi Lingling looked at Xiao Han with disbelief on his face. I can indeed help you achieve a breakthrough immediately, and maybe I can even help you evolve your martial soul. After Xiao Han finished speaking, he took out the Douluo tulip from the soul guide. This strange plant immediately caught Yi Lingling's attention. The rhizomes and leaves below it are all vines, finely combed, and at the top is a golden tulip. The rich fragrance emanating from it instantly filled the entire room. The rich fragrance gives people a sense of grandeur. Yi Lingling asked curiously. What's this? This thing is called Douluo tulip, and it is a top-quality fairy grass. Taking it can absorb the essence of heaven and earth, as well as the brilliance of the sun and the moon. It is very suitable for your nine-hearted begonia martial spirit. I give it to you. After taking it, your soul power will be at least it can be upgraded to 5 levels. Level 5. Yi Lingling looked shocked, unable to believe that this flower and plant had such miraculous effects. Shui Binger said. Lingling, several of us have taken the fairy grass given by Xiao Han, so our soul power has improved so quickly. This is a top-quality fairy grass, and it will definitely bring you a lot of improvement. Yi Lingling still found it incredible. Xiao Han, do you really want to give such precious fairy grass to me? Of course. It suits you very well. But, we just met. It doesn't matter how long we have known each other. If you are willing to take the risk and travel with us, you are already a member of our team. After Xiao Han finished speaking, he handed the Douluo tulip to Yi Lingling. Take it. When taking it, you need to gently inhale the pistil and slowly absorb the essence into the body, and then use the soul power to move slowly, so that the medicinal effect spreads throughout the meridians of the body. Yi Lingling was very moved in her heart. Although she had only known Xiao Han and Shui Binger for a day, she felt their sincerity and kindness, and experienced the warmth between friends. Her cold heart was gradually melted as if a stream of warmth had flowed through it. Yi Lingling carefully took the Douluo tulip and said softly. Xiao Han, thank you. You're welcome. You should be older than me, right? If you don't mind, you can call me Xiao Han like Binger and the others. Yes. Okay, take it as soon as possible, we'll wait for you outside. After Xiao Han and Shui Binger left, Yi Lingling sat down and took the Douluo tulip. Time passed by minute. When Yi Lingling woke up again, it was late at night. She was pleasantly surprised to find that the soul power surging in her body was more powerful than before. The bottleneck that was originally blocked at level 40 was actually broken through. There was even a faint trend of continuing to climb, but it was limited by not obtaining the fourth soul ring and could not show a specific level. What shocked her even more was that her 9-heart begonia martial soul had changed. Just as Xiao Han said, the magical effect of Douluo tulip brought not only the improvement of soul power, but also made her martial soul evolve. Yi Lingling stood up and gently pushed open the door. The moonlight sprinkled on her face, reflecting an unprecedented confidence. Seeing this, Xiaohan and Shui Binger immediately came up and asked with concern. Lingling, how is it? How do you feel? It's amazing. My soul power has broken through level 40, and my martial soul has really evolved. Quote. Xiaohan nodded with satisfaction. The Douluo tulip really has magical effects. How has your martial soul evolved? Let me show you. A layer of rich golden light was released from Yi Lingling, with a strong scent of tulips. Then, she stretched out her right hand and released her martial soul. The begonia flower quietly suspended on her palm was flowing with a faint golden luster, and each petal seemed to contain endless vitality. Chapter 128 Enemies meet on a narrow road, seize the soul bone. Seeing this scene, Xiaohan and Shui Binger were shocked. Yi Lingling's martial soul, the nine-heart begonia, originally looked like a pink begonia flower, composed of white and pink petals. But at this time, the begonia flower had completely turned golden, releasing a rich golden light and a sacred breath. Looking at the golden begonia flower, Yi Lingling couldn't suppress her inner excitement, and her eyes flashed with tears. My martial soul has evolved into a sacred heart begonia. Sacred heart begonia. Xiaohan and Shui Binger were a little puzzled. Yi Lingling calmed down, put away her martial soul, and explained to Xiaohan and Shui Binger. Sacred Heart Begonia is the highest realm that our 9-heart begonia soul masters can reach. It is rumored in the clan that only when the soul power breaks through level 90 can the martial soul evolve to such a realm. However, this is almost an impossible task. Because there are too few of our 9-heart begonia soul masters, there can only be 2 alive at the same time, and the appearance of a 9-heart begonia soul master means the disappearance of another soul master. Moreover, we are healers, and our cultivation speed is much slower than that of ordinary soul masters. This makes it difficult for us to impact the unattainable level 90 in a limited time. Xiaohan and Shui Binger smiled at each other, and they were happy for Yi Lingling. Shui Binger asked. Lingling, your martial soul has evolved into a sacred heart begonia. Will your fate be changed because of this? Yes. Yi Lingling smiled and nodded, then continued. After the 9-heart begonia martial spirit evolves into the sacred heart begonia, there is no need to follow the constraints of the 9-heart begonia clan. I never thought that I could personally experience this legendary evolution. Xiaohan, thank you for giving me the Douluo tulip. It not only improves my soul power, but also makes my martial spirit evolve, changing the fate of me and my mother. Yi Lingling's tone is full of gratitude to Xiaohan. Xiaohan is a little confused. Your mother's fate has also changed because of this. That's right. Originally, as long as a 9-heart begonia soul master appeared among my descendants, my mother would disappear. Therefore, I have long been prepared to remain single for life. I want the cursed fate of the 9-heart begonia clan to end with me. Now, my martial spirit has evolved into the sacred heart begonia, and my mother is the only 9-heart begonia soul master left. Our clan is a single-line family. There will be no successors from now on. This is the end. After hearing this, Shui Binger's eyes were full of amazement. Lingling, this is incredible. Not only did you break the shackles of fate, but you also created a miracle for the 9-heart begonia clan. Xiaohan, your fairy grass is so magical. It changed the fate of the 9-heart begonia clan. Xiaohan smiled slightly. I am also very happy that it can change Lingling's fate. Then we will set off tomorrow and go to the Xingdu Great Forest to help Lingling hunt soul beasts and help her get the 4th soul ring. Okay. Sister Hai Ru is at the bottleneck of level 50. Maybe she will break through soon, and maybe she can help her get the soul ring then. Well, it's getting late, it's time to rest. We will set off early tomorrow morning to hunt soul beasts in the Xingdu Great Forest. Okay. Early in the morning of the next day, after Xiaohan and Lin Zhuro said goodbye, a group of 9 people set out from Tianshui City and headed for the Xingdu Great Forest. 10 days later, the group arrived at their destination. After this period of hard training, Yuhiro successfully broke through the 50-level barrier and could obtain her first 10,000-year soul ring. Xiaohan first helped Yuhiro find a suitable 10,000-year soul beast and helped her kill it. After obtaining the soul ring, Yuharu's soul power increased by 1 level to 50 level. Next, they helped Yi Lingling hunt the soul beast. After absorbing the soul ring, Yi Lingling's soul power came directly to level 47. I caught up with Chu Ruishui and Shen Luyu. Kiluo Tulip helped Yi Lingling improve her soul power by several levels. After obtaining the 4th soul ring, her healing ability was further improved. The destination of Xiao Han's trip is the western border of the Tiando Empire, where it borders the Star Luo Empire. In order to save time, Xiao Han planned to take the senior sisters through the Star Do Forest. The Star Do Forest is located at the intersection of the two empires, Tiando and Xingluo. Half of it is in the Tiando Empire and the other half is in the Star Luo Empire. At this time, the other side, southwest of the forest, Davis and his group are exploring into the center of the forest. In the Soul Master competition a few months ago, the Star Luo Royal team led by Davis lost to the Tianshui Academy team. After returning, he practiced hard and finally broke through level 50. With the help of his teacher Zhou Yucheng and several guardians, he obtained his first 10,000-year soul ring. The Xingluo royal family has its own royal hunting ground, which contains many spirit beasts that are under 30,000 years old. However, Zhou Yucheng happened to have broken through level 80, so Davis came to the Star Do Forest with him to hunt the spirit beasts. Zhou Yucheng's goal is to hunt down a soul beast that has been cultivated for more than 50,000 years and use it to make his 8th soul ring. As a group of people were walking, a man in black suddenly came to report. Your Highness, there is a group of people approaching us. Have you seen who it is? My subordinates used binoculars to see that there were 9 people in their group, 1 man and 8 women. They were all young and looked to be no more than 20 years old. A man and a group of women. They are all young people. Davis suddenly thought of something, and his eyes became fierce. Is it them? Wes, what's wrong? Do you know them? Maybe they are those from the Tianshui Academy team. The Tianshui Academy team that defeated us in the Soul Master competition. Davis nodded. Yes, it could be them. Zhou Yucheng suddenly became excited and hurriedly asked the man in black. Are you sure? There are only 9 of them. Sir, we looked carefully and confirmed that there are only 9 of them. Very good. Weiss, let's go take a look too. Davis and Zhou Yucheng looked at each other and smiled, and they understood each other tacitly. They knew that the 3 soul bones awarded to the champion of the Soul Master competition eventually fell into the hands of a few members of the Tianshui Academy team. I have also heard that Xiao Han's strength is not what it used to be, and he caused a huge commotion in Tianshui City. However, they are not afraid. Including several black-clothed secret guards, there were a total of 15 people on their trip, including 2 Contra-level Great Protectors, and Zhou Yucheng was about to become a Contra. Except for Davis, the others are all masters above the Soul Emperor level. They believe that this team is more than enough to kill Xiao Han and his party. Following the black-clothed secret guard, Davis saw Xiao Han and the others with his binoculars, and was pleasantly surprised. Teacher, it is indeed them. It's true that we are enemies on a narrow road. Let's kill them and avenge our shame. Chapter 129 Instant Kill Contra. Xiao Han and his group of 9 people were walking along the small path of the Star Forest. The rich smell of vegetation mixed with the fragrance of earth is refreshing and refreshing. However, this tranquility did not last long. An imperceptible fluctuation of soul power suddenly surged in the air. Although this fluctuation was subtle, it still aroused Xiao Han's vigilance. Everyone, be careful, stop moving forward, there is a situation. Xiao Han shouted in a low voice, his eyes instantly becoming sharp. Shui Binger and others also froze and became alert, forming a defensive formation around Xiao Han. At this moment, figures suddenly flashed out from the shadows of the forest. It was Davis and his party. Their faces were stern, and the soul power fluctuations emanating from their bodies were strong and oppressive, like a group of cheetahs lurking in the dark, ready to strike at the right moment. Haha, it's really hard to find anywhere without trying to find anything. It takes no effort at all. Xiao Han, we finally meet again. Davis laughed, with a hint of coldness in his voice, as if he had seen the dawn of victory. Xiao Han glanced at each other with burning eyes, feeling their strong hostility. At a glance, among the dozen or so people on the other side, the strongest ones were the three white-haired old men. The auras on their bodies were calm and deep, and they were obviously strong men at the Contra level. However, Xiao Han could feel that their soul power did not exceed level 85. The other 10 people are all masters above the Soul Emperor level. Davis, the weakest, has soul power above level 50. Compared with them, the overall strength of Xiao Han and his group is much worse. However, Xiao Han was not afraid at all and stood at the front of the team. A sneer appeared at the corner of his mouth. Davis, what do you mean, are you looking for me? Davis also sneered. I heard that the 3 soul bones awarded to the champion of the Soul Master competition are in your hands. I also heard that your strength is not what it used to be. But the girls around you are not as strong as you. If you are wise, be obedient. Hand over your soul bones and I will let you live. Otherwise, none of you will be able to leave this forest alive today. I didn't expect you to be so eager to die for a few soul bones. To tell you the truth, the soul bones are in my body. If you have the ability, come and get them. Before Xiao Han could finish his words, he released his martial spirit and got ready for battle. Shui Binger and others also set up a formation and released their respective martial arts spirits and surrounded Shui Wu and Yi Lingling, who were the weakest in combat effectiveness. Zhou Yucheng stood next to Davis, greed and disdain flashing in his eyes. Xiao Han, don't think that you can be arrogant just because you killed a Contra. There are so many of us, it's hard for you to fly with wings. Today is the day you die. HMPH. It's still unclear who will win. You guys are too confident. Xiao Han responded calmly, with a calm look on his face. The atmosphere became tense instantly, the air seemed to freeze, and the battle between the two sides was about to break out. Do it. Davis gave the order, and the people behind him immediately dispersed, approaching Xiao Han and his party from all directions. Xiao Han's eyes condensed, the soul power in his body boiled, and a faint blue light flashed on his left arm. The defense skill of the 100,000-year left arm soul bone was instantly activated. A cold blue light spread rapidly with him as the center, instantly condensing the surrounding air into ice, forming an ice barrier to firmly protect his teammates. The ice barrier was fused with the power of the dark Douluo tiger, turning it blue-gray and looking even more indestructible. Immediately afterwards, Xiao Han's figure suddenly rose. Along with the sudden flash of the 5th soul ring on his body, the 5th soul skill Blizzard Arrow was launched. In the sky, a sudden strong wind blew up, and an ice and snowstorm suddenly formed. With a biting chill, the forest within 100 meters radius instantly turned into a world of ice and snow. This blizzard was simultaneously blended with the power of the dark Douluo tiger and the element of wind, adding a bit of mystery and evil aura, doubling its power. The storm changed from light blue to deep dark blue, looking even more terrifying. The sharp blades of ice and snow were as dense as rain, spinning at extremely high speeds, hindering the offensive of Davis and his team. Damn it! Davis roared angrily and tried to escape from this land of death. However, the ice and snowstorm placed great restrictions on his actions, making every step extremely difficult. Those soul masters trapped in the ice and snowstorm opened their defenses one after another to resist the cutting attack of the ice and snow blade. They didn't expect that Xiao Han's 10,000-year soul skill would have such terrifying power. Xiao Han became even more angry. Davis, you asked for this. The 4th soul skill, Ice Explosive Arrow, is activated instantly. A flash of ice blue light hit Davis directly. Your Highness, be careful. Bang! There was a loud noise, and a Contra-level protector next to Davis was hit by the arrow. Even if he opened his defense, his body was still exploded and turned into a ball of blood mist. The powerful impact made the surrounding ice and snow tremble. Davis was blown away more than 10 meters, and his expression changed drastically. The Contra blocked an arrow for him, paid a heavy price, and died as a result. It's your turn. Xiao Hanhan snorted, his mental skull and right arm soul bone opened at the same time, the 6th soul ring on his body suddenly flashed, and the 6th soul skill penetrated with high explosive and was released instantly. The arrow, which contained terrifying penetrating power, turned into an invisible arrow and headed towards another Contra-level protector at great speed. The Contra was protecting Davis with Zhou Yucheng, but without any warning, he was hit in the forehead by the invisible arrow, killing him instantly. In a thrilling moment, Xiao Han cleanly killed the two Contra-level guardians with strength beyond everyone's imagination. This scene made the enemies present stunned, and Davis and Zhou Yucheng fell into complete panic. They never imagined that Xiao Han's strength would be so frightening that they had not seen each other for a few months. Your Highness, leave quickly. There was a hint of despair and urgency in Zhou Yucheng's voice. He underestimated Xiao Han's strength and knew that staying here would only lead to death. Zhou Yucheng's whole body soul power suddenly exploded, and a powerful force was instantly exerted on Davis, trying to use this force to send him out of the area that had been tightly sealed by the ice and snow cage. However, Xiao Han had already understood their intentions. Want to run? It's not that easy. Xiao Han shouted angrily. The second soul skill, launch thousands of arrows. In the state where the true body of the weapon soul and the left and right arm soul bones are opened at the same time, this 1000-year soul skill seems to have the power of a 10,000-year soul skill. Countless ice arrows condensed from the ultimate ice shot out, like dense raindrops, pouring towards the enemies in the ice and snow storm. At the same time, Shui Binger and Shui Wu behind Xiao Han also quickly completed the martial soul fusion skill ice and snow drifting. Chapter 130 Killing Davis, Bibi Dong's Wishful Thinking. The sharp snowflake blades, under the control of Shui Binger, cut towards the enemy like a violent wind and rain with a chill that pierced the bone marrow. Those snowflake-sharp blades drew beautiful arcs in the air, and wherever they went, the enemy's bodies were cut into pieces. Under the intensive attacks of ice arrows and snowflake blades, screams could be heard one after another. Davis also fell into a pool of blood without exception. Another ice blast arrow shot out, hitting Zhou Yucheng right in the middle, blowing him to pieces. It wasn't until he couldn't feel the enemy's breath that Xiao Han restrained his soul power. After the battle, calm gradually returned to the forest, and the air was filled with a faint smell of blood and chill. At this moment, Xiao Han suddenly felt a trace of soul power fluctuation that was gradually going away. Thinking that it might be a hidden guard lurking in the distance, he didn't pursue it. Worried about Shui Binger and the others' safety, as soon as the battle started, Xiao Han reached full state, directly aimed at the two strongest Contras, and killed them in the shortest time. After killing Davis and his party, Xiao Han did not immediately relax his vigilance. He opened his mental skull and followed the direction where the soul power fluctuation disappeared. Only after confirming that there are no potential threats can you feel relieved. Are you all okay? Shui Binger shook her head gently. We're fine. Yu Haro exclaimed. Xiao Han, you are really too strong. That series of attacks just now was simply incredible. Shui Yue also echoed. Yes, our little junior brother is really powerful now. Yu Haro and Shui Yue only heard Shui Binger and Shen Luyu mention Xiao Han's current strength. After witnessing this battle with their own eyes, they couldn't help but exclaim in surprise. Shui Binger was a little worried. As the eldest prince of the Star Luo Empire, Davis is very likely to become the crown prince. If we kill him, it may lead to crazy revenge from the Star Luo Emperor, and may even trigger a war between the two empires. Shui Yue pouted her little mouth and said, Sister, those people have evil intentions towards us and covet our soul bones. They deserve to die. If Xiao Han hadn't been so powerful, we would be the ones dying right now. That's right. This is the rule of the Soul Master world. The strong survive. They are not strong enough. We can't blame them. This matter may not necessarily evolve into such serious consequences. After all, Davis and the others have impure motives for their trip. If Emperor Xinglo wants to be held accountable, he must first find out the truth of the matter. Xiao Han smiled and said, Don't worry, everyone. There are constant conflicts between the two empires, and war will break out sooner or later. If Emperor Xinglo really wants to start a war because of this, then fight him. Shui Yue looked at Xiao Han with admiration. Xiao Han is right, we can't be bullied and still dare not resist. Xiao Han looked around. Okay, Let's take care of the battlefield and leave this place of right and wrong as soon as possible. Xiao Han used cold fire to turn the bodies of those people into ashes. Afterwards, the group quickly left the Douluo forest and headed west. The other side. Douluo Empire, Royal Palace. Emperor Xinglo was furious when he learned that Davis and his party were killed in the Star Forest. His hands were clenched into fists, a cold light flashed in his eyes, and the entire palace seemed to be enveloped in his anger. Xiao Han, what a Xiao Han! He dared to kill my son and the great Contra-level protector. I will cut him into pieces. Emperor Xinglo roared angrily, his voice echoing in the palace and making the guards on both sides tremble. The ministers on the side looked at each other in shock, and no one dared to come forward to talk. They knew that the balance between the two empires might be broken due to this incident. At this moment, Emperor Xinglo is very angry, and any inappropriate words may become the trigger to anger him. Immediately send people to the Star Forest to apprehend Xiao Han and his party. Emperor Xinglo issued the order. Soon, a team composed of elite soul masters was urgently dispatched to the Douluo forest. Emperor Xinglo knew that Xiao Han and his party might have left. However, if he wanted to recover Davis's body, he could not let his son be buried in the wild. Among the princes of the Douluo Empire, Davis and Dai Mubai were the strongest. They are competitors for the position of prince. In the Soul Master competition, the two did not compete head-on. Coincidentally, they all lost to the same person, Xiao Han. Both brothers hated Xiao Han deeply and vowed to avenge their previous humiliation. Therefore, when Davis happened to meet Xiao Han and his group in the Star Forest, he made up his mind to get rid of Xiao Han. As long as he gets rid of Xiao Han and takes Xiao Han's soul bone, he will be in a more leading position in the fight for the Crown Prince's position. I didn't expect that I would die because of this. The biggest beneficiary of Davis's death was Dai Mubai. It is almost certain that Dai Mubai will be established as the Crown Prince soon. Dai Mubai was happy about this, but at the same time he also felt it was a shame. Xiao Han killed his brother, making him hate him even more. He silently swore in his heart that he must get rid of Xiao Han and avenge himself and Davis. The people sent by Emperor Xinglo quickly arrived at the scene of the accident. However, they did not find Davis's body, only some bone fragments, and they couldn't tell who belonged to them. After Emperor Xinglo learned about it, he became even more angry. He announced the incident to the public, pushed Xiao Han to the forefront, and put pressure on Emperor Shuiyi for an explanation. However, he did not announce the true cause of Davis's death. Tianshui College. After Lin Zhuro learned about this, she was a little worried for Xiao Han. Dean Zhao said, I really didn't expect that Xiao Han actually killed Davis, the eldest prince of the Douluo Empire. However, there must be a reason for everything, and you can't just listen to their words. I believe that Xiao Han and Binger will not act recklessly. I'm afraid this matter it's not that simple. Well, we can only find out the truth of the matter when Xiao Han comes back. Fortunately, they are not in Tianshui City now. Apart from you and me, only Emperor Shuiyi and His Highness the Crown Prince know where they are. I think they should be almost at the western border. Xiao Han has such a strong strength, maybe he can really wipe out that group of vicious wolf bandits. I agree to believe that they can do it. Wuhun City, Pope's Palace. Knowing that Xiao Han killed Davis, the eldest prince of Xinglo Empire, Bibi Dong's face showed an intriguing smile. Xiao Han, you are getting more and more arrogant. It's been less than a month since you made such a big fuss in Tianshui City, and you killed the eldest prince of Xinglo, offending both emperors. Now, let me see how you explain it. Good. Very good. It would be even better if the two empires went to war because of the trouble you caused. When they are both defeated, I can reap the benefits, haha. Chapter 131, Killing the Wolf Bandits. After a month of long journey, Xiao Han and his group of 9 finally arrived at the western border of the Tiando Empire. It was getting dark, and they found a small village to rest temporarily. This place is close to the border of the Xinglo Empire, where wolf bandits often appear. The villagers saw the arrival of this group of young soul masters and learned their purpose, and they all gathered around. Several respected soul masters, are you really here to deal with the wolf bandits? A weathered old man asked. The villagers were all incredible. After all, they all looked very young, and 8 of the 9 people were beautiful girls. Xiao Han nodded. We heard that there were wolf bandits making trouble here, so we came here to deal with it. Don't worry, old man, since we are here, we naturally have the confidence and strength to deal with the wolf bandits. Excuse me, old man, are there any wolf bandits around here recently? Just a few days ago, the wolf bandits attacked again. However, they attacked the nearby village, and they suffered heavy losses, many people died, and the livestock were also stolen. Therefore, in recent times, the nearby villages have strengthened their vigilance, and the patrol soldiers have come more frequently. Xiao Han nodded and continued to ask, then how many of them were there when they appeared last time? About 30 or 40. They move quickly and are extremely ferocious. They appear in groups every time. The old man said slowly. Do you know where they are hiding? The old man pointed to a mountain shrouded in mist behind the village. They are hiding in that mountain. The mountain group spans the border between Tiando and Xinglo, with steep mountains and complex terrain. Wolf bandits often roam on the border between the two countries, and once they are chased, they will quickly flee into the mountains. Have the two countries sent troops to kill them recently? We sent them, but they all came back empty-handed. Those wolf bandits are too cunning and familiar with the terrain in the mountains. Moreover, they move quickly, coming and going like the wind, and are difficult to catch. The old man said, his voice trembling. They not only kill people, but also eat people. Their combat effectiveness is extremely strong, and even soul masters are not their opponents. That group of wolf bandits has caused headaches for both countries. But because it involves border issues, both countries are unwilling to spend too much effort to deal with this matter, just pretending. The old man slowed down and continued. It is rumored that there are 3 leaders in that group of wolf bandits, all of whom are extremely strong. They are twice as big as ordinary wolf bandits, with green hair all over their bodies, blood-red eyes, sharp fangs, and very scary. Most people who have seen them have died. The wolf bandits are a combination of the wind demon wolf and humans. They have the ferocity and agility of the wind demon wolf and the wisdom of humans. You must not underestimate their power. Xiao Han nodded thoughtfully. It was indeed the wolf bandit group led by the 3 green-haired wolf bandits. Thank you for telling me, old man. It's getting late. We want to stay in the village for one night. Is that possible? Of course. I'll take you to rest now. The old man said, leading the way. Xiao Han and his party followed the old man to a spacious courtyard. You stay here. I'll ask someone to prepare some food. The old man left after saying that. Xiao Han and Shui Binger and others packed up briefly. Xiao Han, how are you going to deal with the wolf bandits? Shui Binger asked. They move quickly and are familiar with the terrain. It's obviously not a good idea to go directly to the mountains to find them. Xiao Han smiled slightly. Why don't we use ourselves as bait to lure them out and catch them all in one fell swoop? Use ourselves as bait. Don't worry, I have an idea. The next morning, Xiao Han and his party entered the mountain. In the next few days, they did not go deep into the mountains, but moved around at the foot of the mountain and found an open space. Xiao Han took out the fragrant fairy product from the soul guide. The wolf thieves have the blood of the wind wolf and are extremely sensitive to smells. The fragrance of this fragrant and beautiful fairy product should attract them. Xiao Han said, and gently placed the fairy grass on the stone. We just have to wait for them to take the bait. Sure enough, not long after, a rustling sound came from the depths of the forest. Soon, several figures rushed out from the bushes. It was a few wolf bandits. They were nearly 2 meters tall, covered with green hair, and their blood-red eyes exuded a bloodthirsty light. The sharp fangs were exposed, looking extremely ferocious and terrifying. When the wolf bandits discovered the existence of humans, they immediately let out a fierce roar and pounced on Xiao Han and his group. Xiao Han sneered, and the 5th soul ring on his body suddenly flashed. The fifth soul skill, Blizzard Arrow. An ice arrow was shot out, and a huge ice and snow vortex was formed on the field. The vortex was integrated with the power of the dark demon evil god Tiger turned into a deep dark blue. The movements of several wolf thieves were immediately restricted and they were trapped in a vortex of ice and snow. They struggled to escape, but were eroded by the cold and their movements became slow. Shui Binger and others also took action. Shui Uaa and Gu Kingbo were as fast as lightning. The ice blades in their hands flashed and left wounds on the wolf thief's body. Bang! A wolf thief was knocked flying and fell heavily on the rocks. It struggled to get up, but was hit by an ice arrow shot by Xiao Han and died on the spot. The remaining few wolf thieves became even crazier when they saw their companions die. Their eyes were bloodshot, their bodies were tense, and they were willing to pounce on Xiao Han and his group even at the cost of injury. Xiao Han kept changing positions, and extremely fast ice arrows poured down like a meteor shower. The ice arrows were extremely cold and killed the wolf bandits one after another. However, Xiao Han deliberately let one go. The wolf thief was wounded and staggered away into the depths of the forest. Xiao Han, why did you let it go? Shuiweir was a little confused. Xiao Han smiled slightly. Wolf bandits are brutal and will take revenge. If a wolf bandit is injured, he will definitely send a message back. At that time, the entire wolf bandit group will be mobilized. This is a good way to lure them out. Xiao Han looked around. The terrain here is open, suitable for us to set up our formation. When the wolf bandits attack later, we will act according to the plan. Afterwards, Xiao Han explained his plan in detail to several people. Soon after, bursts of wolf howls were heard from deep in the forest. They are coming. Xiao Han's eyes narrowed. The sound of dense footsteps was heard in the whistling mountain wind. One after another, wolf bandits emerged from the forest, their blood-red eyes looked particularly ferocious in the sunlight. There were hundreds of them, rushing over in a mighty force. Several people quickly entered combat status. Xiao Han launched the attack first. Shui Binger and Shuiwu cooperated to perform the ice and snow drifting technique to restrict and kill the wolf bandits. Gu Kingbo, Chen Luyu, Shui Yuer and Chu Ruishui shuttled among the wolf thieves and took the opportunity to attack them. Under Yu Heru's protection, Yi Lingling is always ready to provide treatment to everyone. Chapter 132 Bloodthirsty and Frenzy Soul Bone. With the tacit cooperation of several people, the first batch of wolf bandits were quickly killed. Another group arrived soon after. At the front of the wolf pack were three exceptionally tall wolf thieves. They are over 2.5 meters tall, and their blue fur has a metallic luster in the sun. There was a bloodthirsty red light flashing in the eyes of the three-headed wolf thief, and his sharp fangs protruded outward, looking extremely ferocious. Their aura is obviously much stronger than that of other wolf thieves, and they are obviously their leaders. Xiao Han's eyes focused, and the seventh soul ring on his body suddenly flashed. The Junbing bow and arrow instantly enlarged in his hand, emitting a chilling blue light. The spirit skull and right arm soul bone opened at the same time. Everyone follow the plan. Xiao Han stood in the front, his 100,000-year soul ring blooming with a heart-pounding blood-red light. Seeing this, the wolf bandits did not dare to act rashly. But there are so many of them, and looking at those beauties, they all get excited and ready to make a move. Under Xiao Han's shock, Shui Binger and Shui Wu immediately released their martial souls and began to perform martial soul fusion techniques. The snow and ice started falling. Sharp snowflake blades circled and danced in the air, enveloping the wolf bandit group with a biting chill. The wolf bandits were affected by the ice and snowstorm and suddenly became restless. The three wolf bandit leaders displayed amazing strength. A layer of green light glowed all over their bodies, and they were able to withstand the cutting attacks of the ice and snowstorm. Roar! The three wolf thieves roared at the same time, and their soul power fluctuated violently. Their aura actually reached the Soul Emperor level. Xiao Han was not careless and the freezing skill of his left arm soul bone was activated instantly. A layer of solid ice spread from the ground, trying to freeze the three wolf bandit leaders. But they reacted very quickly, jumped up and avoided the deadly freeze. Then they separated and rushed towards Xiao Han and his group. The other wolf bandits ignored the restrictions of the ice and snowstorm and rushed over madly. Yu Haro, Chen Luyu, Shui Yuer and others quickly shuttled among the wolf pack, using their respective soul skills to continuously attack the wolf thieves. However, the wolf bandits are numerous and fearless. Even though they were seriously injured, they still rushed towards them one after another. The powerful strength, extremely fast speed and sharp claws caused considerable trouble to the few people. Fortunately, Yi Lingling's Sacred Heart Begonia exerted a powerful therapeutic effect. The golden healing light enveloped several people, and their injuries healed quickly, allowing them to continue fighting. Xiao Han engaged in a fierce battle with the three wolf bandit leaders. The wolf bandit leader is extremely fast, far exceeding the speed of ordinary soul emperors. They seemed to turn into three green afterimages, attacking Xiao Han from different directions. The sharp claws cut through the air, making a sharp sound. Xiao Han looked around, moving flexibly in the air, taking care of his teammates while continuously shooting ice arrows to attack the wolf thieves. The leader of the three wolf bandits is worthy of being the leader of the entire wolf pack. He is not only fast but also extremely powerful. They can even catch the ice arrows shot by Xiao Han with their bare hands. I underestimated you. Xiao Han's eyes condensed, and the fourth soul ring on his body suddenly shiny. The fourth soul skill, Ice Explosive Arrow. This time, Xiao Han did not aim at the leader of the wolf thieves, but at the ground beneath their feet. Boom! The arrow exploded the moment it touched the ground, and a powerful shock wave mixed with countless ice crystals spread around. Although the wolf bandit leader escaped the direct impact, he was still scratched by those ice crystals. The green hair on their bodies is dyed red. Xiao Han didn't give them a chance to breathe, and the fifth soul ring on his body shone again. A violent whirlpool of ice and snow formed instantly, covering an area of 100 meters in radius. Xiao Han simultaneously integrated the power of the dark demon tiger and the wind element into it, turning the vortex into a deep dark blue. The movement of the wolf bandits was immediately restricted. They moved with difficulty in the blizzard, and their bodies were constantly scratched by sharp blades of ice and snow. Shui Binger and others took the opportunity to launch a sharper attack. At this moment, Xiao Han suddenly felt a powerful aura erupting from one of the wolf bandit leaders. The wolf bandit leader looked up to the sky and roared, and the green hair on his body suddenly turned blood red. Its size skyrocketed again, and the red light in its eyes became even more eerie. A violent breath burst out from its body, dispelling the suppression of the blizzard whirlpool. The other two wolf bandit leaders followed closely behind and entered this violent state, but the most violent one was the wolf. It's the mad power in the blood. Xiao Han's eyes narrowed. The three wolf leaders pounced on Xiao Han at the same time, at an alarming speed. Their claws became sharper and could even create sparks in the air. Xiao Han immediately activated the defensive skills of the 70,000-year-old soul bone in his right arm. A layer of strong ice armor enveloped him, blocking the wolf bandit leader's claw attack. I won't play with you anymore. Xiao Han's eyes suddenly lit up. One eye turned ice blue, and the other turned red. The realm of ice and fire expanded instantly. As soon as the three-headed wolf leader entered the domain, he felt a powerful force of oppression. The violent aura on their bodies was suppressed, and their speed also slowed down. Xiao Han took the opportunity to launch an attack. The sixth soul ring on his body shines, and high explosive penetration is activated. An invisible ice arrow penetrated directly through the head of one of the wolf leaders. The wolf leader let out a shrill scream, fell to the ground, twitched a few times, and died. The other two wolf leaders became even more crazy when they saw their companions die tragically. They rushed towards Xiao Han desperately, not even caring what harm they would suffer. Xiao Han snorted, and two rays of light shot out from his eyes. The divine light of ice and fire. The two rays of light, one cold and one hot, contained the ultimate power of ice and fire, and directly penetrated the bodies of the two wolf leaders. Xiao Han continued to fire arrows, and together with Shui Binger and others, killed all the remaining wolf thieves. After the battle, Xiao Han gathered his soul power. The ice and snow melted, revealing the corpses of wolf thieves all over the ground. Is this the end? Shui Yue couldn't believe it. So many wolf thieves were wiped out so easily. Those three-headed leaders are so crazy, but they are still vulnerable to Xiaohan. If it weren't for our safety, Xiaohan would have solved them long ago. Yu Haro, Ji Qingbo and others also showed admiration. Everyone knew that Xiaohan was very strong, but seeing this scene with his own eyes, he was still deeply shocked. Are you all okay? Let me help you with your treatment. As Yi Lingling spoke, he released the Sacred Heart and Begonia martial spirit again. Golden light bloomed from the crabapple flowers and enveloped everyone, bringing a warm feeling. Under the treatment of Sacred Heart Begonia, everyone's fatigue was instantly swept away, and their condition returned to its best. It's amazing. Shuiwu exclaimed. You are truly worthy of being the #1 healing martial spirit in the world. Yi Lingling showed a faint smile. This is all thanks to the fairy grass Xiaohan gave me. Xiaohan walked to the corpse of the largest wolf and examined it carefully. This alpha wolf should be the supreme leader of the wolf bandit group. It is bigger than the other two alpha wolves. Xiaohan knew that it had a bloodthirsty soul bone in it. Chapter 133 Ice Jade Luan. Xiaohan carefully inspected the body of the wolf bandit leader. On its right leg, a bone glowing with blood-red light was found. It's this bloodthirsty right leg bone. Xiaohan's eyes lit up. This soul bone was the source of power when the leader of the wolf thieves went berserk. It is formed by fusing the blood power of the Gale Demon Wolf and contains powerful madness energy. Shui Binger and others quickly gathered around. Xiaohan, is this a soul bone? Well, it's a 10,000-year-old right leg soul bone. Xiaohan picked up the soul bone and turned to look at Chen Luyu. Lu Yu, this soul bone is very suitable for you. Your Wuhun enamel fu crocodile is originally a powerful attack type. With this soul bone, your combat effectiveness will be greatly improved. Thank you, Xiaohan. Chen Luyu happily took the soul bone. Absorb it now, we'll be watching from the side. Good. Then, Chen Luyu sat cross-legged and began to absorb the right leg bone. As the energy of the soul bone was injected into the body, Chen Luyu's body emitted a blood-red light. Her aura continued to rise, and soon broke through the bottleneck, reaching level 47. Completely suck out that right leg bone. After receiving it, several people gathered around. Luyu, how do you feel? Great, my strength has been greatly improved. Try the power of that soul bone. Good. Chen Luyu stood up and released the enamel fortune crocodile spirit. She activated the soul bone of her right leg and immediately entered a state of madness. Her martial spirit body was covered with a layer of blood-red scales, her sharp fangs and claws emitted a cold light, and her aura became extremely ferocious. How awesome! Shui Binger and others exclaimed. Xiaohan nodded with satisfaction. Luyu, this soul bone is indeed very suitable for you. However, it consumes a lot of your soul power in the mad state, so you should be careful when using it. Well, I understand. Afterwards, Xiaohan went down the mountain and informed the villagers. A large number of villagers poured into the mountains. When they saw the corpses of the wolf robbers all over the ground, they were all shocked and speechless. Were all killed by you? An old man asked tremblingly. Xiaohan nodded. Yes. This group of wolf thieves has been killed by us, and they will no longer bring trouble to one party. The villagers never expected that this group of young soul masters could completely eradicate the ferocious group of wolf thieves in such a short period of time. The news spread quickly, and the government sent people to deal with the body of the wolf robber. Xiaohan and his party did not stay long and set off immediately. Shui Yue asked with some confusion. Xiaohan, aren't we going back to Tianshui City? If you don't go back, go to the frozen forest in the far north. You are now at the bottleneck of level 49, and Binger is about to break through level 60. That is the most suitable place for us to practice. You two can be better there. Break through quickly. Let's go there to practice for a while, and then hunt the appropriate soul beasts to obtain the soul rings after you break through. That's not a bad idea. The group of people headed north, towards the far north. Tilde. Not long after, the news that Xiao Han and his team had eradicated the wolf thieves reached Tiando City. What? Xiao Han and his team killed the wolf bandits on the border. Emperor Shui Yi looked at the memorial in his hand in shock. Yes, father. Shui Qinghe said respectfully. According to reports from border officials, Xiao Han led 8 female soul masters and annihilated all 200 to 300 wolf bandits, including the 3 powerful wolf bandit leaders, in just a few days. This. Emperor Shui was speechless for a moment. Over the years, wolf thieves have been a serious concern for both countries. Even if Wuhun Palace took action, it could not destroy it. Unexpectedly, Xiao Han could do this easily. Father, over there in the Star Luo Empire. Shui Qinghe stopped talking. Emperor Shui Yi sighed. Emperor Xinglo has been asking us for an explanation regarding the death of Davis. We can't just listen to their one-sided words. Let's wait until Xiao Han and his party come back. At the same time, Xinglo Palace. Trash. It's all trash. Emperor Xinglo angrily smashed the memorial in his hand on the ground. We couldn't even deal with a group of wolf thieves, but now they were wiped out by Xiao Han and several young female soul masters. Even the people on our Star Luo border regard him as a hero. Father, please calm down, they are just lucky. Dai Mu Bai bowed. Emperor Xinglo looked solemn. Mu Bai, I have decided to make you the crown prince. You must increase your strength as soon as possible. That Xiao Han must not be kept. Yes, father. I will definitely avenge my elder brother. Dai Mu Bai was finally able to ascend to the position of prince as he wished. On the other side, Wuhun Palace. Bibi Dong looked at the information in her hand and frowned slightly. This Xiao Han is surprising every time he makes a move. The group of wolf thieves that gave Wuhun Palace a headache was wiped out by them just like that. Send someone to secretly investigate their whereabouts to see where they have gone. Yes, Your Majesty the Pope. Xiao Han and his party did not know that they had caused such a big disturbance. At this time, they had arrived in the frozen forest and found a safe cave to settle down. Next, start practicing with concentration. 2 months later. Shui Binger suddenly opened her eyes from practicing. Finally a breakthrough. Binger, congratulations. Shui Binger finally broke through to level 60 and was about to become a soul emperor. Xiao Han showed a happy smile. It's finally time to hunt the soul beasts. Binger, with your current strength, it's no problem at all to absorb a 50,000-year-old soul ring. The next day, Xiao Han and his party set out towards the center of the forest. In the frozen forest, it is not easy to find ice-type soul beasts that are over 50,000 years old. After dozens of days of searching, Xiao Han sensed a powerful spirit beast aura. That breath contained a heart-stopping chill. Finally found it. Xiao Han opened his eyes and a smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. You guys come with me. Xiao Han led the way, heading in the direction of the soul power fluctuations, moving at high speed. Shui Binger and his party followed closely behind. When the soul beast got closer and closer, Xiao Han finally saw its appearance clearly. It's an ice jade Luan with 50,000 years of cultivation. Bing Yuluan not only possesses powerful ice attributes, but also inherits a trace of Phoenix's bloodline. Although it is not as good as the real Phoenix, it is already a very suitable choice for Shui Binger. Shui Binger's eyes lit up. Her martial soul is an ice phoenix. If she can obtain Bing Yuluan's soul ring, her strength will undoubtedly be greatly improved. Binger, go and capture that soul beast. As long as I'm here, it can't escape. Okay, leave it to us. Everyone knows that with Xiao Han's current strength, one person can easily take down that soul beast that has been cultivated for 50,000 years. But he wants to leave the opportunity for everyone to fight powerful soul beasts and face greater challenges, so that they can truly grow. Chapter 134 50,000-Year Head Soul Bone. This place is close to the center of the forest, and the surrounding temperature is very low. The snow on the ground has reached more than the knees, and the cold wind whistles past my ears, making a terrifying sound. If not everyone had ice and water attributes, this environment alone would be enough to make people unbearable. A huge iceberg stands in front of you. The iceberg is covered with crystal icicles, shining with dazzling light in the sun. Halfway up the iceberg, there is a huge cave. The ice jade Luan is right there. Everyone held their breath and approached cautiously. However, before they could get close to the cave entrance, a clear cry suddenly sounded. Shui Binger's heart tightened. No, I was discovered. I saw a blue figure rising into the sky from the cave. It is nearly 10 meters long, all white, and surrounded by light blue cold air. Its feathers are crystal clear and sparkle charmingly in the sunlight. The most eye-catching thing is its pair of huge wings, which are more than 10 meters long when unfolded and are as transparent as crystal. Every wave of the wave will bring up ice crystals all over the sky, which is beautiful. What a nice view. Yi Lingling saw such a beautiful ice attribute soul beast for the first time and couldn't help but admire it. But before she finished speaking, Bing Yuluan showed its terrifying side. I saw its wings shaking, and countless sharp ice blades whizzing towards everyone. Not only are these ice blades extremely sharp, they also contain an extremely strong chill, freezing the air wherever they pass. Careful! Shui Binger shouted loudly. She quickly used her second soul skill, Ice Ring Armor, and a layer of hard ice instantly enveloped her teammates. Bang bang bang! Countless ice blades hit the ice barrier. Although most of the ice blades were blocked, there were also cracks in the ice barrier. What a powerful force! Shui Binger looked solemn. Although her ice ring armor is strong, it still seems a little inadequate in front of the 50,000-year-old soul beast. Everyone spread out, attack it separately, and cover Binger and Shui Wu when they use their martial soul fusion skills. Yu Haro and Shen Luyu surrounded him from both sides. Chen Luyu activated the power of the soul bone of his right leg, and his whole body was enveloped in blood-red light, and his speed and strength were greatly improved. But how can Bing Yuluan be so easy to deal with? Its wings suddenly spread out, and a circle of cold air visible to the naked eye spread around. The temperature dropped sharply. The air within 100 meters radius seemed to be frozen. Even those who were good at ice attributes felt a biting chill and slowed down involuntarily. It is accumulating strength. Xiao Han's voice suddenly sounded. Pay attention to defense. Before she finished speaking, Bing Yuluan launched an even more violent attack. Its feathers stood up and shone coldly in the sun. Immediately, countless crystal ice feathers shot out like a rain of arrows. These ice feathers are not only extremely sharp, but also contain extremely strong penetrating power. Puff puff puff. Shui Yuaa and Jiyu Qingbo were scratched by a few ice feathers, and the blood immediately dyed their clothes red. Upon seeing this, Yi Lingling immediately used his healing soul skill. Golden light shrouded the injured people, and the wounds healed at a speed visible to the naked eye. However, this scene attracted Bing Yuluan's attention. A soul beast of this level already possesses considerable intelligence. It immediately realized that Yi Lingling was a threat and must be dealt with first. I saw its silhouette suddenly turned into a stream of light, swooping down at an astonishing speed. The sharp beak flashed with cold light and pointed directly at Yi Lingling's throat. If this blow hits, Yi Lingling will inevitably die. At the critical moment, Xiao Han finally took action. An invisible ice arrow shot through the air. This arrow is made of spiritual power, does not contain the slightest fluctuation of soul power, and is impossible to guard against. Even with Bing Yuluan's strength, he couldn't detect it in advance. By the time it discovered it, it was already too late. Boom! The silent ice arrow instantly penetrated Bing Yuluan's wings. Only then did Bing Yuluan realize that there was an even more terrifying existence hidden among the human soul masters in front of him. But Xiao Han did not continue to take action, but said lightly, "You continue to fight, I will protect Lingling." Everyone regained their spirits again. Shui Binger and Shui Wu's ice and snow drifting has been quietly completed. The sky full of sharp blades of ice and snow hovered in the air, trying to restrict Bing Yuluan's movements. Yu Haro and Shen Luyu kept looking for opportunities to launch attacks. But Bing Yuluan's speed is too fast, and it has strong resistance to ice soul skills, so it is difficult to work for a while. The continuous fighting made both sides look a little tired. Bing Yuluan's attacks gradually became slower, but its defense was still very strong. Anyone who tries to get close will be driven back by its cold air. Bing Yuluan seemed to realize that continuing to fight would be detrimental to him, and he gradually began to want to retreat. It flapped its wings violently, trying to escape deeper into the ice field. However, Xiao Han was already prepared. His mental power enveloped the entire area, and Bing Yuluan hit an invisible wall of ice as soon as he turned around. It's now. Shui Binger seized the opportunity and shouted loudly. With Shui Wu's assistance, she released the original power of the Ice Phoenix spirit, and her whole body was enveloped in a layer of light blue light. A huge ice phoenix rose into the sky, emitting a dazzling light. At the same time, Shui Wu also pushed her soul power to the extreme. The two people's martial soul fusion skills reached unprecedented strength. Countless sharp ice and snow blades hovered in the air, blocking all possible escape routes for Bing Yuluan. Every snowflake contains a strong chill, and even the air is frozen. The trapped Bing Yuluan let out an angry cry, trying to break out of the encirclement. But after such a long battle, its physical strength has been exhausted. Under the intensive attack of ice and snow blades, its defense was finally breached. Most of the feathers on his body were shaved off, and his white hair was dyed red with blood. Shui Binger seized the opportunity and gathered all her soul power to launch the final blow. Ice Crystal Sword. A bright cold light flashed, and Bing Yuluan let out its last mournful cry and fell from the sky. Its huge body hit the ground heavily, stirring up snow all over the sky. This fierce battle is finally over. Shui Binger and others were panting from exhaustion. Each of them had marks scratched by ice crystal blades. Only Yi Lingling, who was protected by Xiao Han, was not injured. Let me treat you. Yi Lingling said, releasing her sacred heart and begonia martial spirit again to provide treatment for everyone. Streams of rich golden light fell from the sky and enveloped everyone, causing their wounds to recover at an alarming speed. At the same time, a trace of mist slowly rose from the body of Bing Yuluan, gradually condensing into a 10,000-year soul ring that released black light. Suddenly, a little blue light came into Xiao Han's eyes. Soul bone. Xiao Han was surprised and happy. He hurried over to check and found something. It was a piece of head soul bone, with an ice blue luster all over its body, exuding a faint cold air. Chapter 135 Eye of Ice Phoenix. Xiao Han picked up the head soul bone that exuded an icy blue luster. A faint cold air circulates on its surface, as if it contains endless ice power. When Shui Binger and others saw this, they all gathered around. Everyone was surprised and happy. Shui Yuei asked. Xiao Han, is this a soul bone? Well, it's a head soul bone. I didn't expect that this 50,000-year-old ice jade Luan would actually explode with a head soul bone. My sister is really lucky. Yes. It looks like it should be a skull with spiritual attributes. After Xiao Han finished speaking, he turned to look at Shui Binger aside. Binger, you absorb the soul ring first, and then absorb this soul bone. Good. Shui Binger nodded, then sat down cross-legged and began to absorb the 50,000-year-old soul ring. In an instant, a majestic energy poured into her body. This energy was extremely violent, with an extremely powerful chill, as if it would freeze all her meridians. The energy of the 50,000-year-old soul ring is very huge, far exceeding any soul ring that Shui Binger has absorbed before. Beads of sweat began to appear on her forehead, and her body was shaking slightly. Xiao Han tapped his forehead with his finger, and a ray of ice blue light sank into Shui Binger's eyebrows, helping her stabilize her mental strength. At the same time, Yi Lingling also released his sacred heart and begonia martial spirit, and golden light enveloped Shui Binger, trying to ease her pain. With the help of the two of them, Shui Binger activated her martial soul's original power and took the initiative to accept the chill. Gradually, her breathing became steady. Bing Yuluan's energy began to merge into Shui Binger's Ice Phoenix martial spirit. She could feel that she was gradually taking control of this power. Time flies by for a few hours. Shui Binger finally absorbed the energy of the soul ring completely. When she opened her eyes again, she found several people looking at her expectantly. Xiao Han smiled and said. Binger, you have finally absorbed the soul ring. Well, I kept you waiting for a long time. It's okay, everyone is taking the opportunity to practice. Xiao Han said, handing over the head soul bone. While you are in good condition now, let's absorb this soul bone. Good. Shui Binger took the soul bone and began to absorb it without hesitation. Xiao Han waited quietly aside. It only took half an hour for Shui Binger to completely integrate the soul bone into her head. The moment he opened his eyes, everything in front of him seemed to become clearer, and his perception was raised to a higher level. Several people were surprised to find that the color of Shui Binger's pupils had turned into a deep ice blue, shining with a strange light. Feeling the increasingly powerful aura on Shui Binger's body, Shui Yue was extremely excited. Sister, how do you feel? I feel. My whole person is different. Shui Binger stood up and felt the power filling her body. After absorbing 50,000 years of soul rings and soul bones, her soul power was directly raised to level 64. And with the fusion of the soul ring and soul bone, her control over the power of ice has reached a new level. Shui Wu asked. Binger, your soul power should be improved. Has it risen a lot? We have upgraded 4 levels together. We are now at level 64. Level 64. The girls all cast envious glances at Shui Binger. Shui Binger was not yet 18 years old, but she had already become a level 64 fighting spirit emperor. I am afraid that he is the soul master who has reached this achievement the fastest except Xiao Han. Xiao Han looked at Shui Binger with expectation. Binger, Bing Yuluan's soul ring and soul bones are very suitable for you. What are the new soul skills you have obtained? Shui Binger smiled and said. My 6th soul skill is Phoenix Feather Slash. When this soul skill is used, sharp ice blades can be emitted from both wings. The ice blades are not only powerful, but also contain the pressure of the phoenix, and also have a freezing effect. Shui Yue clapped her hands. Sister, your new soul skill sounds very powerful. Show it to us. Shui Binger nodded, and then released the ice phoenix spirit. The huge ice phoenix looked even more dazzling than before. Phoenix Feather Slash. Following Shui Binger's soft drink, dozens of sharp and huge ice blades shot out from the wings. Those ice blades not only carry a strong chill, but also contain an invisible pressure. Wherever it passed, even the air was cut into pieces, and several large trees in the distance were easily chopped off. Xiao Han praised. Binger, this soul skill is really good. It greatly increases your attack power. That skull should have also brought you a very powerful soul skill, right? Shui Binger nodded slightly. The skull greatly enhances my mental power, allowing me to target opponents whose mental power is weaker than mine. Once the target is locked, it is difficult for the opponent to escape my tracking, and I can also see through various disguises. I call it, Ice Phoenix, I. After Shui Binger finished speaking, she gathered her mental power and immediately activated this ability. Her pupils bloomed with ice blue light, and her vision became extremely clear. She could clearly see a soul beast walking through the snow 1,000 meters away, and could even distinguish the hair on its body. More importantly, she can sense the other party's mental fluctuations. This is indeed a very practical ability, very helpful for tracking and investigation. Xiao Han is happy for Shui Binger. This breakthrough greatly improved her strength and gained 2 extremely practical skills. Xiao Han looked around. It's getting dark. Let's rest in Bing Yuluan's lair for one night before leaving tomorrow. Good. Yue, you must seize the time to practice and strive to break through level 50 as soon as possible. Well, I understand. The center of the forest was even more dangerous. After resting here for one night, a few people set out to leave early the next morning and retreated to the periphery. After a month of hard training, Shui Yue finally broke through the 50-level bottleneck and was able to hunt soul beasts and obtain the first 10,000-year soul ring. Under the leadership of Xiao Han, a group of people began to search for a suitable soul beast for Shui Yue. Shui Binger released her martial spirit and soared in the air. After absorbing the mental skull, her perception became extremely sharp, and even the subtle fluctuations in soul power around her could not be hidden from her eyes. Soon, she discovered a frozen lake. The lake's surface looked ordinary, but Shui Binger could feel a powerful wave of soul power hidden underneath. Xiao Han and his party soon arrived at the lake. Shui Yuei asked curiously. Sister, what kind of spirit beast is in this lake? An ice spirit fish has a cultivation level of about 20,000 years. The ice spirit fish is very fast and matches your jade dolphin martial spirit very well. Shui Yuei became even more excited. However, the ice spirit fish is hiding at the bottom of the lake, and it is not easy to lure it out. The lake has frozen, and it is hiding in the lake. If we attack like this, won't we scare it away? This is simple. Xiao Han smiled confidently and took out a richly fragrant herb from the storage container. Chapter 136 Meeting Oscar by Chance. The medicinal herb in Xiao Han's hand had a strong fragrance, mixed with a faint fishy smell, which smelled strange. Xiao Han, what is this? This is Ling Xingcao, one of the fish soul beast's favorite foods. With it, the ice spirit fish should appear. As he spoke, he threw the cordyceps to the lake. The smell of medicine quickly spread across the lake, penetrating into the lake through the thick ice. Sure enough. Not long after, there was a wave of fluctuation on the lake surface. A blue-white figure slowly emerged from the bottom of the lake, exuding the unique and powerful aura of a 20,000-year-old soul beast. It was a giant ice fish with a body length of more than 3 meters. Its entire body was icy blue, and its scales were crystal clear, shining brightly in the sunlight. Its body exudes a strong cold air, and when swimming, it flicks its tail fin from time to time, causing ripples of cold air. It's now. Xiao Han gave a low drink. Act according to plan. Shui Binger and Shui Wu were already ready to attack and immediately used their martial soul fusion skills. The ice and snow drifted towards the lake, trying to restrict the movement of the ice spirit fish. Yu Haro and others surrounded him from both sides, ready to attack at any time. Shui Yuei took a deep breath and released the jade dolphin martial spirit. She wanted to kill this soul beast herself and obtain this soul ring for herself. The ice spirit fish quickly discovered the existence of humans. It swung its tail fin angrily and set off a series of ice blades. Everyone immediately dispersed to avoid the attacks of those ice air blades. Shui Yuei dodged while looking for opportunities to attack. Her jade dolphin spirit is also good at speed and can glide freely on the ice. Being besieged by everyone, ice spirit fish saw that the situation was not good and wanted to escape to the bottom of the lake. Don't let it get away. Shui Binger and Shui Wu increased their soul power output, completely freezing the entire lake in an instant. The ice spirit fish was frozen into an ice sculpture. Shui Yuei quickly took action and slashed with several ice blades. Boom! There was a loud noise, and the ice was shattered. Shui Yuei's continuous attacks hit the critical part of the ice spirit fish. The huge creature let out a cry, and its body twitched violently. Shui Yuei then launched an attack. Click! The ice spirit fish's defense was completely defeated, and its huge body collapsed. It struggled a few times at last, and finally closed its eyes unwillingly. Well done. This time, Xiao Han didn't take any action during the whole process. They completely relied on their own strength to kill the spirit beast that had been cultivated for 20,000 years. A trace of black mist slowly rose from the body of the ice spirit fish, gradually condensing into a soul ring blooming with black light in the air. Yi Lingling released her Sacred Heart Begonia martial spirit, and the rich golden light fell on everyone, making their fatigue disappear quickly. Shui Yuei quickly returned to her best condition. Under the protection of everyone, she began to absorb the soul ring. A few hours later, Shui Yuei completely absorbed the soul ring and had his first 10,000-year soul ring. Her soul power also increased by 2 levels, reaching level 52, and she officially became a fighting soul king. After this period of practice, Xiao Han's soul power has exceeded level 79 and is at the bottleneck of level 80. He could have continued to practice in the frozen forest and break through level 80 as soon as possible. However, even if you break through level 80 here, it may be difficult to obtain the soul ring you want. Because he has higher requirements for the 8th spirit ring, which must come from a spirit beast that has been cultivated for more than 100,000 years. Soul beasts that are more than 100,000 years old are extremely powerful, and Xiao Han has the confidence to deal with such soul beasts. However, considering that there are several soul sects in the team who are over 40 levels, and their strength is not too strong, their safety must be taken into consideration. Besides, it has been nearly half a year since they left Tianshui City. It was time to go back and report to their families that they were safe. Under the leadership of Xiao Han, a group of people prepared to leave the frozen forest and return to Tianshui City. When a few people were about to walk out of the frozen forest, Xiao Han suddenly felt a wave of soul power and immediately stopped, staring ahead warily. Shui Binger also felt something strange in front of her. Shui Yuaa asked. Xiao Han, what's wrong? Someone is here, a soul master. There are quite a few of them. They may be like us, coming to the frozen forest to hunt soul beasts. Shui Binger continued. Ignore them, let's keep going. Xiao Han could feel that those people's soul power was not strong, and there were not even contra-level experts in the team, so he didn't take it to heart. Several people continued to move forward. As the distance got closer and closer, those people also noticed the presence of the 9 of them. When the two groups were less than 20 meters away from each other, they stopped in unison. The team of soul masters standing opposite Xiao Han had a total of 10 people. They all looked to be over 20 years old, and some were 30 or 40 years old. They looked at the group of young soul masters in front of them carefully and felt incredible. The environment of the frozen forest is extremely harsh, and it is difficult for soul masters with non-cold attributes to survive here. The group of young soul masters in front of them all looked to be less than 20 years old, and they were 1 boy and 8 girls. Boys, are you here to hunt soul beasts too? Or are you here to play? One of them shouted at Xiao Han, his eyes full of disdain. He might have felt jealous when he saw Xiao Han surrounded by 8 beautiful girls. The man looked to be 30 years old, with a tall build and a sinewy face. His soul power should be in his early 50s. Xiao Han was too lazy to pay attention to him, and just stared at him coldly. Hey, are you mute? I'm talking to you. You're so dumb. My junior brother doesn't even bother to talk to you. Yu Haro couldn't help but replied on Xiao Han's behalf. The man suddenly showed a malicious smile. Little girl, you are quite fierce. Dolly, don't cause trouble, let's go. The soul power surged in Xiao Han's body, and when he was about to take action, he was interrupted by a middle-aged man. That middle-aged man should be the boss of this team. Although the strong man was unwilling to do so, he stopped talking due to the majesty of the boss. Suddenly, a dull voice came from the crowd. We are really enemies on a narrow road. I didn't expect to meet you here. Several girls were shocked by the man's words. Xiao Han took a closer look and realized that the thin man hidden by the strong man was somewhat familiar, as if he had seen him somewhere before. Are you Oscar? Yes, it's me. Oscar stood up. Several girls felt unbelievable when they saw him. His face is more determined than before, and his whole person does not have the refreshing feeling before. He is a bit sloppy and looks more mature, like a person in his 20s. Even if he was not covered, several people might not be able to recognize him. Xiao Han smiled indifferently and glanced at the team of soul masters around Oscar, feeling already in his heart a bit wary. After the captain spoke, Oscar could have left with them, but at this time he deliberately exposed his identity, obviously with hostility. Chapter 137. How can there be an arrow to turn back when the bow is drawn? Oscar's words instantly made the originally calm atmosphere tense. His eyes flashed with complex emotions, including hatred and unwillingness, but more importantly, the desire for power and the determination to prove himself. After the Soul Master competition, he went to the Seven Treasures Glazed sect and realized that there was a huge identity gap between himself and Ning Rongrong, so he left wisely. He chose a difficult path of cultivation and joined this team of Soul Masters. The purpose was to hone himself in actual combat and become stronger, strong enough to prove his worth in front of Ning Rongrong and Ning Fengji. He wanted to prove that he was not only an auxiliary Soul Master, but could also make a name for himself in the world of Soul Masters. This team happened to come to the frozen forest to hunt soul beasts and obtain rare treasures. They did not expect to meet Xiao Han and his party. Several people in the team looked at Oscar. Do you know them? Oscar concealed his identity when he entered the team, so they didn't know that he had participated in the Soul Master competition before. Of course I know him. This kid once seriously injured my friend. Oscar's voice was a bit hoarse, but it also revealed a maturity that had gone through many vicissitudes of life. In the Soul Master competition, Xiao Han seriously injured Oscar's teammates Tang San, Dai Mubai, Ma Hongjun and Xiao Wu, making them resentful. In the past year, Oscar has been concentrating on training and is indifferent to external affairs. He still doesn't know Xiao Han's current strength. When you meet Xiao Han here, you can get rid of him with the help of the team. Except for Captain Hot, everyone in this team is not a good person. They will do anything for the sake of profit. Xiao Han felt the hostility in Oscar's eyes. He knew that according to the development of the timeline, Oscar would go out for training and come to the frozen forest, but he did not expect to meet them so early. Oscar, after following the Yakuza for a few years, you have become bad. People change, especially after going through so much. Oscar's eyes turned to the people behind Xiao Han, a hint of coldness flashed in his eyes. Xiao Han frowned slightly, vaguely aware of the auras of the surrounding Soul Master team members who were about to move. Sure enough, Oscar's next words confirmed his suspicion. Brothers, I have some good news for you. Oscar's voice rose a bit, with a hint of incitement. These people have precious soul bones in their bodies. Soul bone. The members of the Soul Master team who originally maintained restraint suddenly showed greed in their eyes and released their martial souls one after another, surrounding Xiao Han and his party. Brothers, as long as we can obtain soul bones, our strength will be greatly increased. Not many people in this world can resist the temptation of soul bones. The aura of those people is full of desire for power, coveting of soul bones, and contempt for the weak. What are you doing? Hayote, who had been silent, finally spoke. His voice was deep and strong, and he was obviously dissatisfied with the behavior of the team members. He didn't expect that Oscar, who had always been honest, actually had such a dark side and wanted to use the power of the team to carry out his revenge plan. Captain, this is our chance. Yes, Captain, isn't it that we came to the frozen forest to hunt for treasure? These people seem to be rich or noble. If you kill them, you might not only get soul bones, but also other treasures. Yes, kill them. The team members all looked at Hayote, determination flashing in their eyes. Captain, with soul bones, our team's overall strength will become stronger. Hayote sighed. He can understand Oscar's obsession with revenge and the greed of these people in the team. But he knew better that the young Soul Master in front of him was not an ordinary person. Although Xiao Han deliberately restrained his soul power, he could still feel the unusual aura on Xiao Han's body. Stop it. If you bully a group of young Soul Masters, aren't you afraid of being laughed at if word spreads about it? Captain, if you think too much, these people will all die. Dead people cannot speak. The desire for soul bones makes these greedy people trapped in it and unable to extricate themselves. Hot tried to persuade. But obviously, his words seemed so pale in front of greed. Captain, if you don't want to participate, just stand aside and watch. We will still share the treasure with you. After the strong man finished speaking, he flashed and rushed towards Xiao Han. Faced with the sudden change, Xiao Han seemed extremely calm. The Junbing bow and arrow instantly appeared in his hand, and 7 soul rings also appeared. Purple, 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 black, 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 red. Every soul ring exudes a powerful aura, especially the 100,000-year soul ring that blooms with red light. Xiao Han's figure is tall and straight, like an unsheathed sword, standing in the wind and snow. As the 7 soul rings appeared, the aura around him suddenly changed, and an indescribable pressure enveloped the entire space. The bright red 100,000-year-old soul ring exuded heart-stopping energy fluctuations, making those soul masters involuntarily feel awe. The faces of several people changed slightly, and a hint of withdrawal flashed in their eyes. 100,000-year soul ring. Oscar never expected that Xiao Han's strength would already reach the level after not seeing each other for a year. It has reached such a terrifying level. He originally thought that with his hard work over the past year and the strength of his team, he would be able to deal with Xiao Han and his group. But now it seems that everything is just delusion. Soul bones are good, but you have to be alive to enjoy them. Xiao Han's voice was not loud, but it was clearly heard by everyone, with unquestionable firmness and coldness. Those people were trembling with fear, but unable to move. Captain Hot then realized that Xiao Han was the talented young man who killed 3 generations of the Jin family in Tianshui City, but it was too late. Oscar, you are a dog. No matter how hard you try, you will never be in the eyes of Ning Rongrong and Ning Fengji. It is better to die than to live such a cowardly life. After Xiao Han finished speaking, he slightly raised his left arm, and the light of the 100,000-year-old left arm soul bone lit up instantly. An extreme chill quickly spread around him. In the blink of an eye, everyone except Hao Te was frozen into ice sculptures, without even time to react. This is. Oscar looked at everything in front of him in horror, his heart filled with shock. He never thought that Xiao Han had become so powerful. Seeing his teammates trapped, Hao Te quickly released his martial spirit, the snow demon bear, but did not launch an attack. Little brother, you are Xiao Han, right? My teammates don't know your true identity. Please be magnanimous and give them a chance. Xiao Han said coldly. If we are the weaker party, will they give us a chance? Once the arrow is shot, there is no turning back. They asked for it. As Xiao Han spoke, the 70,000-year-old soul bone on his right arm flickered, and the bowstring was fully drawn. Chapter 138 Killing Oscar. As Xiao Han's right arm soul bone and soul ring glowed, the entire space seemed to be filled with a murderous aura. The huge snow soul demon bear was also frightened by Xiao Han's murderous aura. Even if he released his martial soul's true form, Hao Te did not dare to take a step forward. The second soul skill, Thousands of Arrows, is launched. Countless arrows drew icy blue tracks in the air, carrying with them a biting chill and the sound of breaking through the air, flying towards the opponent in an overwhelming and dense manner. With the power of the 70,000-year-old right arm soul bone, this soul skill has become even more powerful. Each ice arrow contains a heart-pounding breath of death. No! Captain Hot's terrified cry was filled with despair. But, everything is irreversible. He could only watch as his teammates who once fought side by side with him were ruthlessly shot through like fragile rag dolls under Xiao Han's impenetrable rain of arrows. Those people turned into sieves one by one, their blood and lives disappeared under the cold arrows, and they fell down one after another. The ice-blue arrows and bright red blood flowers intertwined into a shocking picture. The air was filled with the smell of death and the tragedy was unbearable to watch. When the last arrow fell to the ground, everything returned to calm. Only Hot was left standing there alone, surrounded by the cold bodies of his teammates. Oscar died at this moment. Xiao Han slowly put away the Junbing bow and arrow and looked at Hao Te. You've seen it too. They brought this upon themselves. Greed and malice will eventually backfire. You're also an ice attribute spirit master. If I hadn't taken action, I'd have spared your life. After saying that, Xiao Han turned around and looked at the people around him. They did not feel sympathy for the deaths of those evil people. Afterwards, Xiao Han and his group left, leaving Hao Te alone standing there. Looking at the cold bodies of his teammates, he felt mixed emotions. Oscar was eager for revenge, and his teammates paid the price of their lives for their greed. What happened today will become an indelible shadow in his life. Several people are about to walk out of the frozen forest. Shui Binger said. I never thought Oscar would become like that. For revenge, he actually instigated those people to attack us. Yes. He looks honest, but he is actually dark inside. He learned bad things from Tang San. Yu Haro echoed, with a hint of coldness in her eyes, as if she was disgusted with Oscar's behavior. However, fortunately we have Xiao Han here, otherwise the consequences today would be disastrous. The few of them talked as they walked, and soon walked out of the frozen forest. They continued to head south, heading towards Tianshui City. Half a month later, when Xiao Han and his party stepped into the gate of Tianshui City, they were greeted not by the tranquility of the past, but by deafening cheers and thunderous applause. After half a year, when people saw Xiao Han again, their faces were filled with joy and admiration, as if they were welcoming a hero returning triumphantly. Xiao Han eliminated the bullies in Tianshui City and also led people to the western border to eliminate the wolf bandits who were harming the people. Everything he did was supported and recognized by the people of Tianshui City, and he was regarded as the pride of Tianshui City. Xiao Han also felt happy that he had used his abilities to do something meaningful. After meeting Lin Zhiro, Xiao Han told her everything he had experienced in the past 6 months. Lin Zhiro was very happy to learn about the growth and gains of Xiao Han and his group. Some time ago, Davis's death caused a lot of controversy. Xingluo concealed the truth of the matter. They actually coveted your soul bones. They really deserve to die. Mom, don't worry, I will take care of this matter. Yes. The Crown Prince sent a letter asking you to go find him when you return. After you meet him, explain everything clearly and Xingluo won't dare to do anything. Okay. The mother and Sunwei talked a lot more. Xiao Han learned from Lin Zhiro that not long ago, Emperor Xingluo officially made Dai Mubai the Crown Prince. Dai Mubai became the only heir to Emperor Xingluo. If nothing else happens, he will ascend to the throne of God. After resting for 2 days, Xiao Han set off alone to Tiando City. With his current strength, even a powerful person at the title Douluo level would be unable to pose a threat to him. Xiao Han came to Tiando Palace and met Shui Qinghe. Brother Xiao Han, you are finally back. Shui Qinghe greeted Xiao Han with a smile, her tone full of kindness. I have met His Highness the Crown Prince. Xiao Han saluted slightly, his attitude neither humble nor overbearing. Without courtesy, please take a seat. There are no outsiders here, just call me Brother Shui. Shui Qinghe pointed to the chair beside him and motioned for Xiao Han to sit down. I didn't expect that you could completely eradicate that group of wolf thieves so quickly. His Majesty was very happy to learn about this incident and decided not to pursue you for killing the 3 grandsons of the Jin family. Thank you, Brother Shui. You must have said a lot of good things for me in front of His Majesty. Shui Qinghe smiled slightly and changed the subject. However, you have also caused us a lot of trouble. What happened to Davis's death? Brother Shui, I am here to explain this matter to you. Later, Xiao Han told Shui Qinghe exactly what happened after meeting Davis and his group in the Star Forest. After hearing this, Shui Qinghe frowned slightly, thought for a moment and then said, the Star Luo Empire has gone too far and even concealed the truth of the matter. Don't worry, with me here, they won't dare to attack you easily. Brother Shui, since I dare to kill Davis, I have already thought of the consequences and am not afraid of their revenge. You are getting stronger and stronger, and you are getting crazier and crazier. Shui Qinghe looked at Xiao Han with a joking tone, his eyes full of appreciation. You have crazy capital. What I appreciate is your courage and strength. However, you still have to be careful in everything. After all, Emperor Xingluo is also a ruthless character. Well, I understand. By the way, Dai Mubai has been made the Crown Prince, do you know that? I know, speaking of which, he has to thank me. If Davis doesn't die, how will he have the chance to become Xingluo's Crown Prince? Shui Qinghe nodded. As far as I know, Davis does have an advantage in the competition for the Crown Prince's position. A smile appeared on Shui Qinghe's face. The death of Davis also weakened the power of the Xingluo royal family. No matter who ascends to the position of Crown Prince, they will not be able to affect Wuhun Palace's plan to unify Douluo continent. Brother Xiao Han, there is one more thing. Some time ago, Douluo Bo did not appear at my uncle's birthday banquet, which aroused everyone's suspicion. They seem to have known that Douluo Bo is no longer here. Really? But it doesn't matter even if you know. Yeah. Douluo Bo has made too many enemies in his life. They probably wouldn't think that you were the one who killed him. Xiao Han and Shui Qinghe chatted for a while before leaving the palace. Walking on the bustling street, I suddenly saw 2 familiar faces. It was Yu Shaogang and Lu Erlong. Chapter 139 Yu Shaogang, what is your dog's name? Yu Shaogang and Lu Erlong walked over from the opposite side of Xiao Han and happened to see him. The three of them all stopped in unison, not expecting to meet here. The air seemed to freeze for a moment, and a subtle atmosphere of opposition formed between the three of them. Yu Shaogang frowned, his eyes flashing with complex emotions. Lu Erlong stood beside him, clasping his hands, with a hint of nervousness and wariness in his expression. Both of them knew that Xiao Han's strength was not what it used to be. Yu Shaogang's eyes swept around Xiao Han and noticed that Xiao Han was alone without any companions. As far as he knew, Xiao Han disappeared after leading his men to hunt down wolf bandits at the border of the empire. The Star Luo Empire is negotiating with the Tiando Empire regarding the death of Davis. The person who caused the trouble was Xiao Han. Yu Shaogang didn't expect that Xiao Han would appear alone in Tiando City. He stepped forward and walked towards Xiao Han calmly and firmly. Lu Erlong followed closely behind. The two people suddenly stopped when they were only 10 meters away from Xiao Han. Yu Shaogang's eyes were as bright as fire and he asked directly. Xiao Han, I didn't expect to meet you here. We have been to the center of the Sunset Forest and found something there. If I guess correctly, the death of Senior Douluo is related to you. Faced with this sudden question, Xiao Han's eyes flashed slightly and he responded candidly. Douluo Bo once tried to take my life and even threatened the safety of innocent people around me. In that situation, I only did the necessary self-defense, and he deserved his death. Xiao Han's eyes were firm and he didn't dodge at all. Regarding the matter of killing Douluo Bo, he felt there was no need to hide it. After listening to Xiao Han's words, Yu Shaogang's face suddenly turned gloomy. Although he had already suspected it, he was still shocked when he heard Xiao Han admit it personally. No matter how you say it, Douluo Bo is a titled Douluo. It is really unbelievable that he was killed by Xiao Han like this. As expected, it was you who did it. You guys stole his herbs and took his life. Xiao Han smiled disdainfully. Steal. Could it be that the Sunset Forest is his territory of Douluo Bo? He has occupied it for many years and doesn't even know the fairy grass. I just let the fairy grass show its value. As for Douluo Bo, Gu Bo's death can only be blamed on his inferior skills. There was unquestionable determination in Xiao Han's words, which struck Yu Shaogang's heart. In this world of the weak and the strong, strength determines everything. This is the survival rule of the Soul Master world, and Yu Shaogang knows it very well. Although what Xiao Han said is a cruel fact, it is difficult for people to accept. After all, Douluo Bo was also a powerful man at the title Douluo level, and he was on the same front as them, so it was a pity to die like this. Xiao Han, your strength has indeed increased astonishingly, but don't think that you can do whatever you want. Senior Douluo is the consultant of our Shrek Academy, and he is also a distinguished guest of Prince Snowstar. If you kill him, you will become our enemy. There was a hint of reproach in Yu Shaogang's tone, which made Xiao Han a little unhappy. So what if I'm your enemy? I don't even take the princes of the Star Luo Empire seriously, so why should I be afraid of you? You, a waste with a soul power of less than level 30, will never die if you are not protected by Bibi Dong. How many times have you done this? What qualifications do you have to bark in front of me? What did you say? Lu Erlong was angry, the soul power in his body surged crazily, and his body seemed to be on fire. Xiao Han not only insulted Yu Shaogang as a waste in front of them, but also used Bibi Dong to stimulate her, which she couldn't bear. Just when she was about to have an attack, Yu Shaogang quickly stopped her. Erlong, don't be impulsive. This was not the first time that Yu Shaogang was scolded as a waste, but he was also very angry when Xiao Han was insulted like this in the street. But he knew better in his heart how powerful a 100,000-year soul ring was, and Lu Erlong might not be Xiao Han's opponent. If Flanders were here, the three of them might be able to fight Xiao Han if they teamed up to use martial soul fusion skills. After calming down, Lu Erlong said, Xiao Han, you plotted against Senior Douluo when he was weak, and seriously injured Tang San and Xiao Wu in the Soul Master competition. Sooner or later, these accounts will be settled with you. Okay, let's also count Oscar's share. Oscar. Lu Erlong and Yu Xiaogang looked at each other and suddenly realized something was wrong. They heard from Ning Rongrong that after the Soul Master competition, Oscar went to the Seven Treasures Glazed sect and only stayed briefly before leaving. For nearly a year, just like Tang San and Xiao Wu, there was no news. Yu Xiaogang asked anxiously. Have you met Oscar? More than just seeing it, that guy who overestimated his capabilities has already died in my hands. Anyway, you will know sooner or later, so it doesn't hurt to tell you in advance. What? Hearing Xiao Han's understatement of the news that Oscar had died in his hands, Yu Xiaogang and Lu Erlong seemed to be struck by lightning and froze in place for an instant, their eyes full of unbelievable shock and grief. Yu Xiaogang's face turned pale in an instant, and his body trembled slightly, as if all his strength had been drained away. He couldn't accept this cruel fact. His eyes became hollow and his voice trembled. Impossible, how could Oscar? Lu Erlong's eyes widened angrily. His eyes seemed to burst out with fire, and the soul power in his body was boiling again, almost out of control. She guessed that what Xiao Han said should be true, and Oscar had died at his hands. Xiao Han, you devil. Why did you want to kill Oscar? Yu Xiaogang endured the pain in his heart and asked. Xiao Han, you cold-blooded monster. Do you know what you have done? Oscar is still so young, he works so hard, and has unlimited possibilities. Asshole, I'm going to kill you. Lu Erlong couldn't bear it anymore. He flashed and was about to rush towards Xiao Han, but was held tightly by Yu Xiaogang. Erlong, calm down. Yu Xiaogang knew that Xiao Han's strength was unfathomable, and impulsiveness would only put them in a more dangerous situation. Xiao Leng said. Oscar's death was completely caused by himself. He actually encouraged other soul masters and wanted to work with them to seize my soul bone. Unfortunately, they are too weak and are as greedy as Davis, who overestimates his capabilities. Could it be that shouldn't he die? Only then did Yu Xiaogang and Lu Erlong understand the cause of Oscar's death. They couldn't believe that Oscar would become like that. Yu Xiaogang said in a deep voice. Xiao Han, just wait, one day we will make you pay for what you have done. Xiao Han smiled disdainfully. It's just you. You can only be incompetent and furious. If it weren't for Bibi Dong, I would have killed you hypocritical incompetent right now. For Bibi Dong's sake, I will spare your life for the time being. Quote. After Xiao Han finished speaking, he left directly. Chapter 140 Heartbroken Ning Rongrong. Yu Xiaogang was humiliated by Xiao Han again and was extremely angry, but he could do nothing. Bibi Dong is the high-ranking pope of Wuhun Palace. His strength is also at the top level and he has few opponents. And he, Yu Xiaogang, had already broken up with Bibi Dong. Although he didn't want to admit it, it was true that Bibi Dong was protecting him, otherwise he would have died long ago. Xiao Han mentioned Bibi Dong in front of Lu Erlong again and again, making Yu Xiaogang, a useless person, ashamed and ashamed. He gritted his teeth, clenched his fists until veins popped out, and his eyes flashed with unprecedented anger and unwillingness. Xiao Han's back gradually faded away, and every step he took seemed to step heavily on his heart, making him feel suffocatingly humiliated and helpless. It's just that I am not strong enough to compete with Xiao Han. Xiao Gang, should we just forget it? Lu Erlong's voice was filled with unwillingness and anger. Her eyes were still glaring in the direction Xiao Han left, as if she wanted to imprint that figure in her heart as a motivation for revenge in the future. Yu Xiaogang took a deep breath and tried to calm down his inner emotions. He turned to look at Lu Erlong, a trace of determination flashed in his eyes. No, of course we can't let it go like this. However, we must outsmart him. His current combat effectiveness has probably reached the level of a titled Douluo. It is obviously not the time to confront him head-on. Outsmart. How to outsmart? Yu Xiaogang's eyes became deep, as if he was planning something. He has already felt that Xiao Han's existence is a huge threat. Erlong, Xiao Han's arrogance has made him many enemies. By killing Davis, he undoubtedly directly provoked the Xingluo royal family. How could the Xingluo emperor just let it go? Furthermore, although Dugu Bo had an eccentric temperament, he had a high status in the Tiando Empire. His death would definitely make Prince Shui Xing angry, and even Emperor Shuiyi would be angry. There is also Oscar, who has a close relationship with Rongrong. Xiao Han's move is tantamount to forming an indissoluble feud with the Qibao glazed sect. What we have to do is to use these contradictions to unite those who hate Xiao Han. The Xinglo royal family, Prince Snow Star, and even the Seven Treasure glazed tile sect, each of them possesses powerful power and influence. As long as we can deal with it skillfully and gather this force in one place, it is not impossible to fight against Xiao Han. After hearing this, the anger in Lu Erlong's eyes subsided slightly, replaced by a look of sudden realization. We can indeed connect those forces and jointly deal with Xiao Han. Yu Xiaogang nodded, suddenly feeling sad again. Xiao Ao, hey. Xiao Gang, if Rongrong knew that Xiao Ao was killed by Xiao Han, he would be very sad. Yes. Find a suitable opportunity and we will tell her. Both of them felt a little heavy. Without Oscar, the Shrek Seven Devils will never be able to reunite again. After returning to the academy, Yu Xiaogang told Flanders everything that happened after he and Lu Erlong met Xiao Han on the street. After hearing this, Flanders was furious. He had watched Oscar grow up, and the relationship between him and Oscar was not comparable to that of the two latecomers, Yu Xiaogang and Lu Erlong. However, no matter how angry you are, it will not help. Xiao Han could easily kill two Contra-level guardians and a group of masters in the Star Forest. One can imagine how terrifying his strength is. Moreover, he personally admitted that Douluo I was killed by him. Flanders felt very sad and could only listen to Yu Xiaogang's revenge plan. Later, Yu Xiaogang wrote a letter and asked someone to send it to Qibao glazed sect. He did not mention Oscar's death in his letter, but only said that he had something important to discuss and asked Ning Fengji to bring Ning Rongrong to the academy. A few days later, Ning Fengji stepped into Shrek Academy with an excited Ning Rongrong. Ning Rongrong thought that Yu Xiaogang had news about Tang San and others. Yu Xiaogang was already waiting in the reception room. When he saw Ning Fengji and his daughter, he stood up to greet them and politely exchanged a few words. Master, do you have any news about third brother and the others? Ning Rongrong asked impatiently, with an expectant smile on her face. Yu Xiaogang's face instantly became solemn. He looked at Ning Fengji, then turned to Ning Rongrong. A trace of sadness flashed in his eyes. After a moment of silence, he slowly said, Sect Master Ning, Rongrong, actually, there is some bad news in inviting you here this time. The smile on Ning Rongrong's face froze instantly, and an ominous premonition came to her heart. Master, what's wrong? Oscar. Something happened to him. Yu Xiaogang's voice was not loud, but every word struck Ning Rongrong's heart like a hammer. What? Ning Rongrong exclaimed, her eyes quickly turning red. Xiao Ao. What happened to him? He encountered an accident. Later, Yu Xiaogang told Ning Rongrong and Ning Fengji everything about meeting Xiao Han on the street. After Ning Rongrong listened, her tears could no longer be suppressed and fell down her cheeks. Ning Fengji looked shocked and sad. He did not expect that Oscar would die in Xiao Han's hands. How could this happen? Xiao Ao, he works so hard. Xiao Han must be lying, he said that deliberately. Ning Rongrong choked with sobs, her vision blurred by tears. Yu Xiaogang continued. Xiao Han probably didn't lie. From his tone, it seems that he didn't kill all the Soul Masters. There was only one member of the Soul Master team left alive. Yu Xiaogang's words undoubtedly rubbed salt into the wound, making Ning Rongrong's heart hurt even more. I'm sorry, Xiao Ao, I shouldn't have said that to you. If you hadn't left me, that wouldn't have happened. Ning Fengji patted her daughter's back gently and comforted. Rongrong, don't be too sad. I will send people to investigate the truth of the matter and seek justice for Xiao Ao. Yu Xiaogang nodded in agreement. Sect Master Ning, Xiao Han's strength is not what it used to be. But Xiao Ao will always be a member of Shrek Academy, and we will not let him die in Xiao Han's hands in vain. After a moment of silence, Yu Xiaogang continued. Sect Master Ning, I have another piece of bad news to tell you. Senior Douluo also died in the hands of Xiao Han. What? Ning Fengji's eyes widened in disbelief. Is this also admitted by Xiao Han himself? Yu Xiaogang nodded. Then, he told Ning Fengji everything about how he, Flanders, and Luerlong had been to the center of Sunset Forest and found Douluo I's clothes and bone fragments there. Ning Fengji was shocked after hearing this. He never thought that Douluo I, a titled Douluo, had been killed at that time. Yu Xiaogang sighed. Senior Douluo was injured by Guangling Douluo, which gave them an opportunity. That being said, it is not just luck to kill an injured titled Douluo. While Ning Fengji was speaking, his eyes fell on the heartbroken Ning Rongrong again. He knew that it was not so easy to deal with Xiao Han. Chapter 141 Qian Runshui, I know it was you. Ning Fengji could understand Ning Rongrong's feelings. But as a sect master, he had to consider the interests of the entire sect. Although Ning Rongrong was very sad, he didn't need to act rashly against Xiao Han. He knew that with Xiao Han's current strength, he was enough to fight against the powerful title Douluo level, so he had to send Sword Douluo or Bone Douluo. Ning Fengji regarded his daughter Ning Rongrong as the heir of the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile sect, and looked down on Oscar, who had no background and was a food auxiliary department. It was obviously unwise to make enemies with Tianshui College, which was on the rise, because of Oscar's death. After all, Xiao Han's enemies also included Emperor Xinglo and Prince Xuexing. The Xinglo royal family hated Xiao Han because of Davis's death. Prince Xuexing would also have great hostility towards Xiao Han because of Douluo I's matter. Ning Fengji didn't need to be the first bird. He believed that Ning Rongrong's sadness was only temporary, and she would recover after a while. What he had to do now was to wait and see and act accordingly. Yu Xiaogang knew that it was far from enough to completely eliminate the threat of Xiao Han with the power of Shrek Academy alone. Ning Fengji also seemed to find it difficult to put it into action. So, he decided to use all available resources to deal with Xiao Han. The news of Douluo I's death quickly spread in Tiando City. Prince Xuexing was furious when he learned about it. Xiao Han, you arrogant guy, how dare you kill Douluo? I will make you pay the price. Although Douluo had a strange temperament, he was a titled Douluo of the Tiando Empire after all. His death was undoubtedly a major blow to the strength of the Tiando Empire. Emperor Shuiyi soon learned about Douluo I's death and was very angry. Xiao Han caused a big disaster in Tianshui City, but eliminating the wolf bandits was also a redemption. But unexpectedly, he actually killed Douluo. Emperor Shuiyi also knew that Douluo had intercepted Xiao Han on the day the Soul Master competition ended, and the two became enemies because of this. The Soul Master world has its own rules, and strength determines everything. In this world where the strong are respected, even the Emperor cannot interfere in the conflicts between Soul Masters. Xiao Han's strength is no longer what it used to be. With him, Tianshui Academy has developed into a more powerful force. Emperor Shuiyi was also very troubled and could only put pressure on Xiao Han to restrain his behavior. He once again sent Shui Qinghe, who had a good relationship with Xiao Han, to Tianshui City to meet with Xiao Han. After Xiao Han met Shui Qinghe, he told him about his encounter with Yu Xiaogang and Lu Erlong on the streets of Tiando City. Only then did Shui Qinghe realize that the news was released by Yu Xiaogang. Moreover, through the conversation with Xiao Han, he learned that Yu Xiaogang had a close relationship with Pope Bibi Dong. I never thought that Yu Xiaogang would be so scheming and deliberately spread the news. Your Majesty had to put pressure on you. Xiao Han smiled disdainfully. Yu Xiaogang is a hypocritical villain. If I wasn't worried that the people around me would be retaliated by Bibi Dong, I would have killed him long ago. Shui Qinghe frowned. You said that there is an unknown relationship between Yu Xiaogang and the Pope of the Spirit Hall, Bibi Dong. Is that true? Absolutely true. Xiao Han nodded affirmatively and continued. Yu Xiaogang seems gentle and elegant, but in fact he is insidious and cunning. He will do anything to achieve his goals. He and Bibi Dong were lovers, but later separated for some reasons. But as far as I know, Bibi Dong still has deep feelings for him. Yu Xiaogang may use this to stir up trouble. Shui Qinghe was silent for a moment, thinking secretly in her heart. As Qian Runshui, she has never admitted that Bibi Dong is her mother. She knew very little about Yu Xiaoging's past. She didn't expect that Yu Xiaoging had such a connection with Bibi Dong. She didn't understand why Bibi Dong, such a strong woman, would fall for a loser like Yu Xiaoging. Now that things have come to this, Xiaohan feels that it's time to clarify Shui Qinghei's identity. While Shui Qinghei was thinking, Xiaohan suddenly said, "Brother Shui, I'll call you one last time." "What do you mean?" Shui Qinghei was stunned. Xiaohan continued. "To be honest, I know that you are not the real Shui Qinghei, but a member of the Spirit Hall, right?" As soon as these words came out, the atmosphere in the whole room froze instantly. Shui Qinghei's face changed slightly, but soon returned to normal. "Brother Xiaohan, it turns out that you already knew my true identity." "That's right, I am Qian Runshui, the daughter of Qian Zunji, the former pope of the Spirit Hall. Since we are honest with each other, there is no need to beat around the bush in the future." Qian Runshui smiled. "I'm curious, when did you know my true identity?" "It didn't take long actually." "Did the 5 enshrined light Ling Douluo tell you?" Xiaohan smiled and did not answer, which was regarded as acquiescence, otherwise it would be difficult to explain. Qian Runshui continued. "Since you know my true identity, you should also know that I have been lurking in Tiando Palace since I was a child, in order to implement Wuhun Palace's plan." "I'm curious. How did you do it, disguised as a man, without showing any flaws in the Tiando Palace for so many years?" "The Tiando royal family's swan martial spirit is similar to my angel martial spirit. Coupled with the camouflage skills brought to me by the soul bone, it is not difficult to do this." "I see. After hiding under Shui Qinghei's skin for so many years, you must have experienced a lot of unknown hardships." Qian Runshui was deeply moved by Xiaohan's words. Indeed, in order not to be obliterated by Bibi Dong and for Wuhun Palace's plan, she endured the humiliation and lurked in the Tiando Empire for many years. Only she herself knew the bitterness of it. Fortunately, her plan is developing in the planned direction, and it won't be long before she can take over the power of the Tiando Empire. "I heard that you were born with level 20 full soul power. The skin you wear in Shui Qinghei must have affected your cultivation." "Yes. If it weren't for the fairy grass you gave me, maybe I wouldn't have broken through level 60 until now." Qian Runshui changed the topic. "Speaking of the fairy grass, I really want to thank you. The fairy grass you gave me is really amazing. After breaking through level 60, the speed of soul power improvement has not decreased but increased, and it has now reached level 68. I feel like I'll be able to break through level 69 soon." "That's great. Maybe it's because, as your soul power increases, that fairy grass exerts a better medicinal effect and complements your martial soul." Xiaohan suddenly thought of something and became a little excited. "By the way, do you have any thoughts about the upcoming 7th soul ring?" "What's the meaning?" "I think that with your talent and conditions, you can absorb 100,000-year soul ring to become the 7th ring." 100,000-year soul ring. Qian Runshui's eyes widened, feeling incredible. Chapter 142 Soul Hunting Plan. 100,000-year soul beast is an extremely rare existence. They are powerful and secretive, so you can't find them just by looking for them. Moreover, although obtaining a 100,000-year soul ring can greatly improve your strength, the risks involved will also increase exponentially. Xiaohan, not everyone can be like you, with amazing luck and strength, able to meet a 100,000-year-old soul beast and absorb its soul ring to become the 7th ring. Xiaohan smiled lightly. Luck is indeed mysterious sometimes. However, I am not talking about the 100,000-year soul beast out of thin air. I know a secret place where there are 200,000-year soul beasts accompanying Xiao Wu. Xiao Wu. That 100,000-year-old soft-bone rabbit. Do you know where she is? Qian Runshui was surprised and happy. Xiaohan nodded. Yes, it's that rabbit. They are in the core circle of the Star-Do forest. To be honest, I am hitting the 80-level bottleneck. It is possible that we can break through at the same time, so we can hunt the soul beasts together. After hearing this, Qian Runshui's eyes flickered, obviously touched by this proposal. She knew that since Xiaohan proposed such a plan, he must be certain and prepared. Moreover, for any soul master, the temptation of 100,000-year soul ring is irresistible, let alone a soul master with lofty ambitions like her. Xiao Han, your proposal is bold and tempting. But we still need to be cautious. It is not that easy to deal with 200,000-year soul beasts at the same time. Of course, I won't make fun of our lives. Therefore, we need the help of Wuhun Palace, at least a few powerful people at the title Douluo level. I want to ask the teacher to come out. Qian Runshui nodded slightly. If 5 enshrined light feather Douluo takes action in person, we will be more confident in dealing with the 200,000-year soul beasts. Then it's decided. We will all seize the time to practice and strive to achieve an early breakthrough, and then we will hunt the 200,000-year soul beasts together. Good. Qian Runshui suddenly thought of something, and a smile appeared on her face. I have some doubts. You are from the Tiando Empire, and I am from the Wuhun Palace, and my plan is to seize the power of the Tiando Empire. Don't you care about this at all? Xiao Han smiled lightly. I know that your Wuhun Palace's ultimate plan is to unify the entire Douluo continent and bring peace to the world. There are constant conflicts between the two empires, those in power are incompetent, and the people at the bottom are the ones who suffer. Therefore, I support your plan is to unify Douluo continent and end all wars. After listening to Xiao Han's words, Qian Runshui was deeply relieved. It's great that you can think like this. With the help of a strong person like you, I believe that our Wuhun Palace plan will be successful. Of course. However, I have to remind you that Bibi Dong also has her own thoughts. She will do anything for you Xiaoging. Maybe she is planning to destroy the Wuhun Palace or even the entire world. After hearing this, Qian Runshui was shocked. What are you talking about? How could Bibi Dong have such an idea? She is the Pope of Wuhun Palace and has been committed to the development and growth of Wuhun Palace. Qian Runshui frowned, obviously unwilling to believe Xiao Han's words. Although she was dissatisfied with Bibi Dong's leadership of Wuhun Palace, under Bibi Dong's leadership, Wuhun Palace's power was indeed growing day by day, and its influence on the two empires was also growing. Xiao Han shook his head gently and then said, You and I both know that Bibi Dong is not as simple as she appears. Her ambitions and obsessions are far deeper than we imagined. Yu Xiaoging's influence on her is even more inestimable. For Yu Xiaoging, even if she goes to she will not hesitate to take a road of no return. Is it worth it for a broken relationship? Unless she is crazy. The more Qian Runshui thought about it, the angrier she became, and her face became even more ugly. When Xiao Han saw this, he sighed softly. I know this is hard to accept, but don't underestimate a woman's determination to seek revenge. Stay vigilant. Regarding the matter between Qian Zunji and Bibi Dong, Xiao Han found it difficult to talk about it, fearing that it would subvert Qian Zunji's image in Qian Runshui's mind. If she knew that, Qian Runshui might be able to understand why Bibi Dong was so crazy. Qian Runshui was silent for a moment, then slowly said. Xiao Han, you are right, that woman does have great ambitions, and even I almost died in her hands. No matter what her thoughts are, I will stick to my beliefs and fight for the sake of Wuhun Palace. Work hard for the future and peace of Douluo continent. Very good. If you have such determination and belief, you will definitely succeed. I think you can take action against Shuiyi earlier and take down the Tiando Empire first. Qian Runshui nodded in agreement. Your suggestion is very good. I have long had enough of taking orders from him. After I obtain the 7th soul ring, I will start preparing for this. When the time comes, I hope you can help me. No problem. Xiao Han's eyes were gentle and deep, and he smiled softly. We have known each other for a long time and have a tacit understanding of cooperation, but I have never seen your true face. I have always been curious about what kind of face is hidden under the mask of Shui Qinghe. I wonder if I can see your true face. Allow. When Qian Runshui heard this, she was slightly startled. Xiao Han, do you know that there are very few people who have seen my true face over the years, and each of them has a close relationship with me? Why do you have this idea? Xiao Han shrugged and said with a smile. Maybe it's because I feel that the relationship between us has gone beyond ordinary partners. Moreover, I believe that true trust should not have any concealment or barriers. Of course, if you don't want to, I won't, forcing. Qian Runshui thought for a while and said, "Well, it seems I have no reason to reject you." After saying that, she turned around, slowly raised her hand, and gently lifted off the mask. The long golden hair fell down in an instant, and the moment he turned around, a majestic and stunning face was revealed. Qian Runshui is several years older than Xiao Han, but she looks like she is in her early 20s. She has exquisite facial features, fair and delicate skin, and an extraordinary temperament between her eyebrows. She has the softness of a woman without losing the majesty of a king. The eyes that are usually hidden behind the mask are as bright as stars, as if they can see into people's hearts. Xiao Han looked at Qian Runshui in front of him. A hint of surprise flashed in his eyes, but he soon regained his composure. As expected, you are a great beauty. It's funny. Qian Runshui put on her mask again, her tone a little more relaxed. She didn't expect that Xiao Han could face her true appearance so calmly. Xiao Han's concentration and character are indeed extraordinary, because he has lived among beauties since he was a child, and there has always been no shortage of beauties around him. Chapter 143 Disaster of Genocide. Xiao Han and Qian Runshui made an agreement that they would seize the time to practice and complete the breakthrough as soon as possible, and then go to the core circle of the Star Do Forest to hunt the 200,000-year soul beasts together. After Qian Runshui returned to Tiando City, she immediately arranged for her cronies to secretly report her and Xiao Han's soul-hunting plan to her grandfather Qian Douluo, so that he could prepare in advance. Then, she began to concentrate on practicing. Xiao Han is also preparing to practice in seclusion for a period of time. He knew that Oscar's death would make Ning Rongrong very sad. He was worried that when he was practicing in seclusion, the people around him would be retaliated against by Ning Fengji and others, so he wanted to do something for them to distract them. Before practicing in seclusion, Xiao Han sent an anonymous letter to the Tianshui City Wuhun Hall branch. In the letter, he skillfully revealed the secret cooperation between the Tiando City Li clan and the Qibao Glazed sect. They were mass manufacturing Zub divine crossbows and other powerful hidden weapons. Xiao Han knew that once such information fell into Bibi Dong's hands, it would definitely attract her great attention. The Qibao Glazed sect has a close relationship with the Tiando royal family, and has two powerful sect-protecting Douluo, who are regarded as a thorn in Bibi Dong's side. Although their support ability is very strong, their attack power is very weak. But now, they are trying to use hidden weapons to make up for their lack of attack power. This is undoubtedly a huge threat to Wuhun Palace. Bibi Dong will not just watch them become stronger. She will take action against the Force clan and cut off the supply of hidden weapons. Wuhun City, Pope's Palace. Bibi Dong looked at the anonymous letter in her hand, with complex emotions flashing in her eyes. What a Qibao Glazed sect, secretly hoarding weapons with huge destructive power. Tang San, I did underestimate you. I didn't expect you to be quite talented in making weapons. The Force clan, a former branch of Haoshan sect, and also the enemy of Wuhun Palace. Now we can't keep this person anymore. Quote. But who wrote this anonymous letter? Could it be Xiao Han? This is getting more and more interesting. Bibi Dong immediately sent people to secretly investigate the truth of the matter. Half a month later, I received the news. The Li clan was indeed mass-producing weapons for the Seven Treasures Glazed sect. And that person also seized a Zub magic crossbow. Looking at the well-made Zub divine crossbow, Bibi Dong was a little surprised. After experiencing its lethality, Bibi Dong was even more shocked. A small Zub divine crossbow actually has amazing killing power and poses a huge threat to ordinary soul masters. Bibi Dong couldn't stand it any longer and immediately gave orders to the two elders, Zhu and Gui. Two elders, the power clan of Tiando City is now handed over to you. Remember, do it cleanly and don't leave any handle. Yes, Your Majesty. The two elders Zhu and Gui brought a group of experts and rushed to Tiando City. On a dark and windy night, countless men in black airdropped into the residence of the Li clan and killed all 200 or 300 people including the clan leader Titan, and destroyed a large number of semi-finished products of the Zub divine crossbow. The Li clan was wiped out overnight, which quickly caused a huge sensation in Tiando City. The clan leader Titan is a level 86 strong attack-type combat soul Douluo. The entire power clan has more than 200 direct descendants, most of whom are middle-aged and young soul masters. Such a force should not be underestimated. Moreover, it was in the capital of the empire. But even so, they were wiped out overnight. It is conceivable how powerful the opponent is. When Emperor Shuiyi learned about this, he was extremely angry. The genocide of the Li clan is not only a provocation to the Tiando Empire, but also a serious threat to the security of the empire. Emperor Shuiyi immediately ordered the scene to be blocked and sent someone to investigate. Ning Fengji was filled with grief and anger after learning the news that the Li clan was destroyed. The demise of the Li clan not only means that they have lost an important ally, but also means that those hidden weapons with great destructive power will not be able to be replenished in time. This was undoubtedly a heavy blow to the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile sect. Ning Fengji hurried to Tiando City and entered the dilapidated mansion of the Li clan with Yu Shaogang, trying to find clues from the ruins and uncover the truth of the tragedy. Yu Shaogang looked around at the devastated scene, a hint of sadness flashing in his eyes. He knew that the Li clan had already recognized Tang San as their young master. Moreover, Titan's grandson Tyrone was once a member of the Shrek Academy team. Yu Shaogang couldn't imagine that more than 200 members of the Li clan were killed overnight. He whispered to Ning Fengji beside him. This technique is clean and neat, leaving no trace. Apart from the Spirit Hall, I can't think of anyone else who can do it to this level. Ning Fengji's face was gloomy. He nodded, his eyes full of pain. Yes. On the way to Tiando City, I had already guessed it was them. The two looked at each other. Ning Fengji sighed softly. Although we suspect it was the Spirit Hall, we have no direct evidence. The Spirit Hall has always acted cautiously, and this time is no exception. The demise of the Power Clan may be related to the creation of those hidden weapons. I harmed them. No. Sect Master Ning, the Power Clan was originally a branch of the Haoshan sect. This could also be an act of revenge by the Spirit Hall. Then why did they take action at this time? I'm not sure about this either. Let's report this news to His Majesty as soon as possible. Afterwards, the two reported their analysis of the incident and their suspicions about the Spirit Hall in detail to Emperor Shuiyi. After hearing this, Emperor Shuiyi frowned, unable to hide his anger. The Spirit Hall is becoming more and more arrogant. What exactly did they want to do? Emperor Shuiyi slammed his fist on the table, his eyes flashing with determination. The Spirit Hall's move is undoubtedly a challenge to the authority of the Heaven Do Empire. The Power Clan suffered such a disaster right under my nose. I cannot sit idly by. Your Majesty, please calm down. This time, they came well prepared and destroyed all the evidence. We still need to think about this matter carefully. Your Majesty, Master Ning is right. I believe that while investigating the truth of the matter, we should also strengthen the Empire's defenses to prevent such incidents from happening again. Emperor Shuiyi nodded in agreement. Master Ning, the Spirit Hall may be coming for you. I will also provide the highest level of protection for the safety of the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile sect and will never let the Spirit Hall's conspiracy succeed. Thank you, Your Majesty. After the three of them finished the discussion, Yu Shaogang and Ning Fengji left the palace with heavy hearts. Ning Fengji was worried that the Spirit Hall would be detrimental to the sect. Yu Shaogang thought of Tang San again. For more than a year, there has been no news from Tang San, and Yu Shaogang doesn't know how he is doing now. If Tang San comes back and learns that the Li clan was exterminated, he will definitely be very sad. Chapter 144 Tang San, I'm okay again. At the same time, on the other side, in a deep mountain. After more than a year of special training, Tang San has a deeper understanding of the use of the clear sky hammer. Tang Hao looked at the grown-up Tang San in front of him, his eyes full of satisfaction. He knew that it was time to uncover the dusty history and let Tang San understand his mother's true identity and everything their family had endured. Xiao San, come with me. Tang Hao led Tang San through. After passing the roaring waterfall, we came to a hidden stone room. The stone chamber is simple but full of traces of time, as if every inch records stories from the past. Xiaosan, Haven't you always wanted to know about your mother? I will tell you today. Tang Hao's voice echoed in the stone chamber, carrying a hint of sadness that was not easy to detect. Your mother is not a human being. She is the incarnation of the 100,000-year-old soul beast Blue Silver Emperor. Her name is a yin. Tang San had known for a long time that his mother was not human, but when he heard Tang Hao's words, he was still a little shocked. Afterwards, Tang Hao recounted the past. Tang San quietly listened to Tang Hao's story about his relationship with Blue Silver Emperor Ah Yin, and learned about his life experience and what happened to his parents. Dad, it turns out that you and your mother have gone through so many ups and downs, and it was the damn Wuhun Palace that broke you apart. Shaosan, the debt owed to us by Wuhun Palace must be paid back sooner or later. As Tang Hao spoke, he pointed to the small mound in the corner of the stone room. There is a blue-silver grass growing there. It is different from ordinary blue-silver grass. There are faint golden lines on the leaves, which shine softly in the weak light. Shaosan, that is the last trace left by your mother. Her last bit of vitality turned into this blue-silver grass. Ah Yin, our child has grown up, and I brought him to see you. Tang Hao's voice was low and affectionate. After hearing this, Tang San's eyes turned slightly red. Dad, is this my mother? Well, mistress, kneel down and kowtow. Tang San knelt down respectfully in front of the blue-silver grass and kowtowed 3 times. The blue-silver grass seemed to be sensing it, stretching wildly and quickly wrapping Tang San. Tang Hao was very excited when he saw this. Ah Yin, is that you? Are you really back? Tang San was also very excited. He calmed down and felt the care of the blue-silver grass, as if he was lying in his mother's arms. After a while, the extending blue-silver grass slowly dispersed and returned to its original appearance. After sorting out his emotions, Tang Hao said, Mistress, get up. Tang San stood up and saw Tang Hao handing over a simple wooden box. Xiao San, this is a gift left to you by your mother. She hopes you can become stronger and protect everything you love. Dad, what's in this? Open it and see for yourself. Tang San took the wooden box and opened it gently. Inside is a soul bone that emits a faint blue light. Judging from its shape, it is a right leg soul bone. Tang San was surprised and happy, his hands trembled slightly, and his heart was filled with unprecedented excitement. He could clearly feel that an extremely powerful energy was emanating from that soul bone. Moreover, that powerful energy made him feel comfortable and seemed to fit perfectly with his blue-silver grass martial spirit. Dad, this is. Shaosan, this is your mother's soul bone, a 100,000-year-old right leg bone. Mother's soul bone. Tang San was stunned. Dad, this is a 100,000-year-old soul bone. After absorption, it can greatly enhance your strength. Then you will be more confident about the spirit hall. Why do you? Xiao San, your mother has sacrificed her soul ring to me. This soul bone is a gift she specially left for you. You should absorb it now. Good. Then, Tang San sat cross-legged, took a deep breath, and began to absorb the 100,000-year soul bone. As the energy in the soul bone merged, Tang San's body seemed to be wrapped in a warm force. Time passes minute by minute. After absorbing the soul bone, Tang San stood up, feeling the surging power in his body and the new changes brought about by the martial spirit, and felt a sense of surprise in his heart. Mistress, how do you feel? Tang Hao asked with some expectation. Dad, it's so amazing. My soul power has directly broken through the 50-level bottleneck, and my martial soul has had a second awakening. As Tang San spoke, he released his blue-silver grass martial spirit. The blue-silver grass martial spirit has changed. On the originally ordinary blue-silver grass, golden lines appeared, like the bloodline of the emperor, flowing with nobility and power. It looks thicker and tougher. Obviously, blue-silver grass is no longer an ordinary plant, but has evolved into blue-silver emperor, exuding a touch of majesty and vitality. This is the power brought by your mother, blue-silver emperor. Your martial spirit has evolved into the blue-silver emperor. Yes, Dad. And I directly have the 5th soul ring and 5th soul skill. The 10,000-year spirit ring on Tang San suddenly shone, and the blue-silver overlord spear was released. When Tang Hao saw this, his face was filled with surprise. Ah Yin, are these all gifts you gave to your mistress? Dad, it's not just that. I also have the blue-silver domain. In addition, the soul bone has brought me powerful self-healing abilities and flying abilities. That's great. Shaosan, your strength has made a qualitative leap. Tang Hao looked at Tang San, his eyes full of pride. Tang San was also full of confidence. In the previous Soul Master competition, he was beaten up by Xiao Han many times, and he also ate turtles several times when he met a Fire Soul Master. But things are different now. The blue-silver grass martial spirit evolved into the more tenacious blue-silver emperor. With his first 10,000-year soul skill and 100,000-year soul bone, his overall strength was greatly improved. He believed that if he met Xiao Han again, he would not be afraid anymore. Tang San suddenly thought of something, looked at Tang Hao, and said excitedly, Dad, I know a place where my mother may be able to grow hundreds or even 1,000 times faster. After hearing this, Tang Hao was also a little excited, his eyes shining with anticipation. Really? Where? It's in the center of Sunset Forest, where Senior Dugubo's medicine garden is located. The environment there is unique and has unimaginable nourishing effects on various plants. But, having said this, Tang San frowned slightly. Xiao Han has also stepped into that area. I'm worried that he will become an uncertain factor. Speaking of Xiao Han, a sharp look flashed in Tang Hao's eyes. Xiao San, if there is a place where your mother can grow up quickly, I am willing to try. As for Xiao Han, you don't have to worry. There are not many people in this world who can threaten me. If he really dares to show up, I will kill him. As long as I am here, he will protect your mother. The worry in Tang San's heart eased slightly. Dad, maybe I'm overly worried. With you and Senior Dugu here, Xiao Han doesn't dare to go there easily. Well, let's go there first and take a look. If the place is suitable, we can come back to pick up your mother. Good. The father and son immediately set off for the Sunset Forest. Chapter 145 Tang San's mentality collapsed. A few days later, Tang San and Tang Hao arrived at Sunset Forest. They headed directly to the center of the forest. When he reached the center of the forest, Tang San's footsteps suddenly stopped, his brows furrowed, and the uneasiness in his heart surged like a tide. The familiar and dangerous jade phosphorus snake venom array in the past seemed to have evaporated without a trace. Dad, something is wrong. Senior Dugu's jade phosphorus snake venom formation is gone. Tang Hao also noticed something unusual, and his eyes became alert. Indeed, this is not in line with Dugu Bo's style. He has always been cautious and cannot easily remove his defense. We have to be careful. With a hint of ominous premonition, Tang San led Tang Hao straight to the Eye of Ice and Fire. When they arrived at the iconic inverted cone-shaped mountain col, the smell of sulfur and the fresh breath of spring water that should have filled the air were gone, replaced by a dull silence. Dad, something's not right here. There was heat coming out here, and there was a smell of sulfur. Tang San's voice was filled with unconcealable anxiety, and he walked quickly towards the place where the mist should have been rising. Tang Hao followed closely behind, scanning the surroundings solemnly. It seems that we came at the wrong time. Something seems to have happened here. Dad, let's go down and have a look. Well, be careful. The two jumped directly from the edge of the cliff. When they reached the bottom of the valley, the sight in front of them stunned Tang San. The once vibrant and colorful ice and fire eye was now only a pool of dead muddy water, surrounded by messy grass. Even the herbs that Dugu Bo had transplanted were nowhere to be seen. How is this possible? Tang San muttered to himself in disbelief, his eyes searching around, trying to find a glimmer of hope or clues. Tang Hao carefully observed everything around him and said in a deep voice. Xiao San, there are signs of fighting here, and it was obviously deliberately destroyed. Dugu Bo may be in trouble, or... Tang Hao did not continue speaking, but Tang San understood the meaning of his father's unfinished words. A strong worry and anger intertwined in Tang San's heart. He originally thought that when he became stronger, he would join forces with Dugu Bo to get rid of Xiao Han. In that case, when the immortal grasses in Bingwo Liangyi's eyes grow again, they can be used by him. Moreover, if his mother can really be nourished by the spring water of the ice and fire eyes, she will be able to grow even faster. But now, the two eyes of ice and fire have been completely destroyed, and the plans in his heart have been shattered. Tang San thought of Douluo I and felt a little worried. Dad, for more than a year, I don't know what happened to the outside world. Who else in this world can pose a threat to Senior Douluo, besides Wuhun Palace? Yes. You and I thought we'd go together. Maybe someone from Wuhun Palace has been here. Is it because of us? Then the teacher and the others. Tang San was worried that Douluo would be retaliated by the spirit hall. Tang Hao patted Tang San on the shoulder and comforted. Shaosan, don't think too much about it. This place is not far from Tiando City. Let's go and inquire about it and we'll find out. Afterwards, the father and son left the Sunset Forest and headed towards Tiando City. The destruction of the ice and fire eyes made Tang Hao and Tang San more cautious. Tang Hao guessed that after they disappeared from the square of the Pope's palace last time, Wuhun Palace must have sent people to look for them, and the vicinity of Shrek Academy might have been filled with spies from Wuhun Palace. In order not to cause unnecessary trouble to Shrek Academy, Tang Hao and Tang San did not go to Yushaoging after entering Tiando City. They disguised themselves and came to Yuexuan to find Tang Yuehua. Tang Yuehua was very excited to see Tang Hao again after many years. The brother and sister exchanged a few simple greetings, and Tang Hao introduced Tang San to Tang Yuehua. Yuehua, this is my son Tang San. Mistress, come here quickly and meet your aunt. Tang San was stunned for a moment, then took a step forward and bowed to Tang Yuehua. Tang San has met his aunt. Good boy, I didn't expect you to be so old. Afterwards, Tang Hao chatted with Tang Yuehua for a while. From Tang Yuehua's words, the father and son learned it is known that during the more than 1 year of their secret training in the mountains, several major events have occurred, and almost all of them are related to Xiao Han. They never expected that Xiao Han would reach the Soul Saint level in just over a year, and also have a 100,000-year soul ring. Tang San originally thought that after absorbing the 100,000-year soul bone left by his mother, the gap between him and Xiao Han had been shortened, but he did not expect that he was still far behind Xiao Han. Tang San was furious when he learned that Douluo and Oscar were both killed by Xiao Han. The disaster of the extermination of the Power Clan made Tang San feel collapsed. Originally in Tang San's plan, the Power Clan was the foundation for him to establish the Tang sect in this world. The Power Clan is good at casting and can make all kinds of Tang sect hidden weapons for him. It has already established a cooperative relationship with the Seven Treasures Glazed sect. But now, everything is ruined, and the plan to establish the Tang sect has also been shattered. The only thing that makes Tang San feel fortunate is that Xiao Han killed Davis and helped Dai Mubai ascend to the position of the Crown Prince. Damn it! Xiao Han actually killed Senior Douluo and Xiao Ao. Tang San clenched his fists, his nails piercing deep into his palms, but he seemed to feel no pain at all. In his heart, there was only endless anger and sadness. The extermination of the Li family, the death of Douluo and Oscar, all of this was like a heavy boulder, pressing him so hard that he could hardly breathe. Tang Hao looked at his son, with a complex emotion flashing in his eyes. Tang San's growth rate has exceeded that of ordinary people, but Xiao Han's growth rate is even more amazing. Xiao Han has reached the Soul Saint level and has a 100,000-year soul ring, greatly increasing his strength. Tang Hao originally planned to send Tang San to the Slaughter City for training, but after these things happened, he changed his mind. Training in the Slaughter City can only improve murderous aura and combat experience, and the improvement of soul power will be seriously hindered. Tang San already has great hatred in his heart, and the power of revenge is enough to catalyze murderous aura. There is a huge gap between him and Xiao Han in spirit power now. In order to deal with that powerful enemy, he has to hurry up to improve his spirit power. After the second awakening of his martial soul, Tang San's spirit power will increase faster, and Tang Hao has confidence in him. Xiao San, since the tragedy has happened, don't be too sad. What you need to do now is to hurry up and improve your strength so that you can face a powerful opponent. I know, Dad. Tang San suddenly thought of Shui Qinghe. Xiao Han killed the richest family in Tianshui City and the eldest Prince Davis of the Xinglo Empire. It was the Prince Shui Qinghe who got involved in such a big disaster. It seems that Xiao Han and Shui Qinghe have an unusual relationship. Chapter 146 Unexpected Discovery. Tang San had heard Douluo I say before that the Prince Shui Qinghe of the empire was not as simple as he looked on the surface. Under his approachable appearance, he hides a wolfish ambition. The fourth Prince Shui Beng is not as bad as he looks on the surface. He just pretends to be cynical in order to survive better in the palace. Douluo I stands on the side of Prince Shui Xing and the fourth Prince Shui Beng, and is a potential threat to Shui Qinghe. This makes Tang San wonder whether there are other forces involved in Douluo I's death besides Xiao Han. Tang San looked at Tang Yuehua and asked, "Aunt, has anything important happened in the palace recently?" Tang Yuehua thought about it, then shook her head. It seems that there is nothing particularly important. Before, the Xinglo Empire negotiated with the royal family for a while because of Davis's death. But after Xiao Han came back from eradicating the wolf bandits, he made the truth of the matter public, and the Xinglo side stopped. Recently, His Majesty sent people to investigate the extermination of the Li clan. In fact, everyone knows that this was done by the Wuhun Hall, but they just have no evidence. Tang Hao shook his head gently. Even if we know it was done by the Spirit Hall, what can we do? With the strength of the Heaven Do Empire, it is impossible to compete with the Spirit Hall. Tang San sighed and asked, "Aunt, do you know what the Crown Prince has been doing recently?" In the past 2 or 3 months, the Crown Prince has rarely appeared. I don't know if he is practicing in seclusion or for some other reason. After hearing this, Tang San felt more and more strange. He always felt that Shui Qinghe seemed to be planning something. Tang Yuehua suddenly said to Tang Hao, "Second brother, after so many years, don't you really plan to go back to the sect?" Tang Hao sighed, his eyes were a little melancholy, and there was a lot of helplessness in his heart. Back then, for Yin, he did not hesitate to compete with the Spirit Hall, seriously injured the former Pope Qian Zunji, and indirectly led to Qian Zunji's death. The Spirit Hall was angry with the Haoshan sect for this reason, and killed the Haoshan sect and its affiliated sects, causing heavy losses to the sect. Tang Hao also became a sinner of the Haoshan sect and was expelled from the sect. For many years, he has always cared about the sect, but he was burdened with guilt for the sect and had no face to go back. But now the situation is different. He saw the hope of reviving the Haoshan sect in Tang San. He believed that Tang San, who possessed the twin martial spirits of Blue Silver Emperor and Haoshan Hammer, would definitely achieve more than him in the future. These 2 days, he was hesitating whether to take Tang San back to the Haoshan sect. After all, Tang San has the blood of the Tang family flowing in his body. Although he was expelled from the sect, Tang San was innocent. Practicing in the Haoshan sect, Tang San can make faster progress. Yuehua, I also want to go back to Haoshan sect to have a look. However, you know, I am a sinner of the sect and I am ashamed of the sect. Second brother, you all know who the eldest brother and several elders are. I believe that as long as you are willing to put down your face and admit your mistakes, they will definitely agree to let you return to the sect. What's more, Xiao San has such great potential in the future. His achievements are even more immeasurable. Among the younger generation of disciples, who can compare with him? Even if you don't think about yourself, you should think about Xiao San and the future of the sect. Tang San stood aside, silent. He knew his father Tang Hao's temper. He had always wanted to visit Haoshan sect, which was known as the #1 sect in the world, but he did not dare to mention it in front of Tang Hao. Tang Hao felt a little shaken in his heart. Okay. Yuehua, I'll take the mistress back to the sect. Great. Then I'll go back and say hello to my eldest brother and some elders. Okay. Please take a trip. It's not hard. As long as you can go back, I'm willing to do anything. Tang Hao and Tang San rested for a day in Yuexuan, and left Tiando City the next day. Before that, Tang Yuehua had already taken the lead. Not long after Tang Hao and Tang San walked out of Tiando City, they suddenly felt that the atmosphere in front of them was a little unusual. Looking up, I saw a group of people marching slowly not far away. It looked like an ordinary convoy, but Tang Hao's keen perception told him that things were not simple. Shaosan, look at that team of people. Tang San followed Tang Hao's gaze. At first glance, there was nothing unusual, but when he used the purple demon eyes to observe carefully, he couldn't help but frown slightly. Dad, they are all soul masters, and their cultivation levels are not low. Tang Hao nodded, his expression becoming more serious. That's right, there are two powerful people at the title Douluo level among them. Such a lineup is definitely not something ordinary people can have. The two looked at each other and had the same guess in their minds, there must be a good background behind this team. Dad, it looks like they came from Tiando City. And besides Wuhun Palace, who else can send out two titled Douluo at once? You are right, they are most likely to have a close relationship with Wuhun Palace. Tang San was extremely frightened when he thought about it carefully. Dad, the Force clan was wiped out not long ago. Could it be related to them? I'm a little skeptical too. Let's go and follow him to have a look. Considering the recent situation in Tiando City, Tang Hao and Tang San hid in the woods on the roadside, using the cover of the trees to quietly follow the team. Along the way, the team of people moved very cautiously, and from time to time there were people probing around, obviously on guard against something. But it was not difficult for Tang Hao and Tang San to conceal their whereabouts, so they followed along without being discovered. As the team went deeper, Tang San became more and more curious. Dad, who do you think is sitting in this car? Is it a noble or? Tang Hao shook his head, his eyes deep. I don't know, but to be escorted by such a powerful team of soul masters, his identity must be of great importance. We will follow us to the destination and everything will be revealed. Finally, at sunset, the team stopped in front of a hidden valley. Tang Hao and Tang San were hiding in the forest not far away, watching quietly. The people in the convoy were seen dismounting one after another, and one of them, a powerful man at the level of titled Douluo, stepped forward and respectfully opened the curtain of the carriage. At that moment, Tang San was shocked. Because what he saw walking out of the carriage was someone he didn't expect, Prince Shui Qinghe. How could it be him? Tang San exclaimed softly, feeling unbelievable. Tang Hao also frowned, obviously surprised by this scene. It seems that Tiandu's crown prince is not a simple person. He must have an ulterior motive for traveling so secretly. Yes. What's even more strange is that there are two powerful people at the title Douluo level and a group of masters beside him. When did the Tiando Empire have such a powerful soul master configuration? Are those really people from the Spirit Hall? It's possible. Perhaps Shui Qinghe has already colluded with Wuhun Palace. Chapter 147 The Mysterious Blonde Woman. Tang Hao and Tang San looked at each other, with a sharp flash in their eyes. They decided to continue tracking Shui Qinghe and uncover the secret behind it. After dawn, Shui Qinghe and his party set off again, and Tang Hao and Tang San followed quietly, keeping a close distance. As time went by, Tang Hao and Tang San discovered that the direction of Shui Qinghe's group was becoming more and more clear, and they were heading towards the Stardo Forest. Stardo Forest, as the most famous gathering place for soul beasts on the Douluo continent, is where countless soul masters obtain soul rings. Dad, they seem to be going to the Stardo Forest. Tang San whispered, already having a vague guess in his heart. Tang Hao nodded, with a solemn expression. Looking at their posture, they are probably hunting soul beasts. But I don't know what kind of soul beast they want to hunt, so they need such a powerful lineup. Tang San frowned in thought. Shui Qinghe is the crown prince of the Tiando Empire, and his soul power level is not high. The soul beasts in the royal hunting grounds are enough to make his soul rings, and there is no need for him to risk going to the Stardo Forest to obtain them. There are two titled Douluo beside him, as well as a group of masters above the Soul Saint level. Why do they need to mobilize such a large number of troops? Dad, I don't think things are that simple. Shui Qinghe's trip may have another purpose. Tang Hao nodded. They may not just be hunting soul beasts. Dad, we have to continue to follow. If Shui Qinghe really colludes with Wuhun Palace and attempts to harm the Tiando Empire, we cannot sit idly by and watch. Tang Hao and Tang San continued to lurk in the darkness, following Shui Qinghe and his party to the Stardo forest. At the same time, on the other side, Xiao Han and Lin Zhiro were also rushing to the Star Forest. According to the agreement with Qian Runshui, Xiao Han also practiced in seclusion for a period of time, and his soul power exceeded level 80. After receiving the news that Qian Runshui had also broken through level 70, Xiao Han and Lin Zhiro set off from Tianshui City to the Star Forest, preparing to meet Qian Runshui there. Xiao Han knew that the Titan Giant Ape and Azure Bull Python in the core circle of the Stardo Forest were overlord-like existences with powerful strength. So this time, he only brought Lin Zhiro and not Shui Binger because they were not strong enough. Before setting off, Xiao Han had already told Lin Zhiro that the Empire's crown prince Shui Qinghe was Qian Runshui in disguise. And he also told Lin Zhiro about Qian Runshui's plan to seize power in the Tiando Empire. Lin Zhiro was shocked. However, if the peaceful reunification of Douluo continent can really be achieved and there will be no more wars in Douluo continent, Lin Zhiro will also support Qian Runshui's plan. Lin Zhiro will stand beside Xiao Han and support Xiao Han. Xiao Han's decision is her decision. The two of them were walking and chatting. Lin Zhiro said, Xiao Han, I don't know if they are coming soon. It should be faster. They set off from Tiando City and are closer than us. However, if we travel in simple clothes, the speed will be faster. If nothing happens, we can arrive at the agreed place at almost the same time. Qian Runshui should have brought a lot of people with her. Yes. The two soul beasts in the center of the forest are no small feats. One of them has a strength close to 200,000 years of cultivation. Xiao Han knew that Qian Runshui had two powerful men at the title Douluo level, Snakespear and Agatha, but they were not enough to deal with the Titan Giant Ape and Azure Bull Python. In order to ensure nothing goes wrong, Xiao Han specially reminded Qian Runshui that in addition to Guangling Douluo, the enshrinement hall also needs to send a strong man of the title Douluo level. Moreover, this matter must be kept secret and cannot be known to Bibi Dong. The two continued to move towards the Stardo forest. Tang San and Tang Hao followed Shui Qinghe's team to a corner of the Stardo forest. The team did not continue moving forward after entering the forest, but stopped. This aroused the suspicion of Tang San and Tang Hao. Tang San said, Dad, they look like they are waiting for someone. Tang Hao nodded, thoughtfully. It's getting weirder and weirder. Two titled Douluo-level experts and a group of masters. Such a team of soul masters is enough to hunt down a 100,000-year-old soul beast. I don't know who they are waiting for and what they want to do. Just as the two were wondering, a young woman with waist-length blonde hair stepped out of the carriage. The woman was dressed in a gorgeous yet simple dress, with a slightly raised corner of her mouth, carrying a trace of inviolable majesty and nobility. The sunlight filtered through the sparse treetops and dappled her body, coating her with a faint glow. Her face was as delicate as if it had been carefully carved, and her skin was fair and delicate, as flawless as the first snow. A pair of eyes that can penetrate people's hearts, revealing wisdom and determination that cannot be underestimated. Her body exudes an invisible aura, an aura that combines nobility, wisdom and power, making people want to surrender involuntarily. Tang San and Tang Hao looked at each other, a hint of surprise flashed in their eyes. Such a woman is obviously not an ordinary person. However, they followed along and never saw the woman. Tang Hao was very confused. Who is she that can make Shui Qinghe mobilize so many people? Or is she the real key figure in this trip? Dad, don't you think it's strange? Shui Qinghe is missing. Tang Hao frowned and then remembered. My attention was focused on that woman just now, but thanks to your careful observation, Shui Qinghe is indeed missing. At this time, Tang San had opened his purple demon eyes and could clearly see the woman's face. He found that the blonde woman's demeanor and subtle movements were somewhat similar to Shui Qinghe. This made him couldn't help but suspect that the blonde woman was Shui Qinghe. However, he was also confused. If this is true, how did the woman do it? Could it be that her disguise skills have reached this terrifying level? Mistress, what are you thinking about? Tang Hao's words interrupted Tang San's thoughts. Tang San said with firm eyes. Dad, I suspect that the blonde woman is Shui Qinghe. What? She is Shui Qinghe. Strictly speaking, she is not the real Shui Qinghe, but pretends to be Shui Qinghe. The real Shui Qinghe is probably no longer alive. Tang San heard Douluo I say that Shui Qinghe had great ambitions, and even the previous prince might die at his hands. If Shui Qinghe is really the blonde woman in disguise, Douluo I's previous guess would make sense. Mistress, someone is coming. While Tang San was thinking, Tang Hao suddenly reminded him. The two of them looked at the team at the same time, and they suddenly discovered that a man and a woman were walking towards the team. Past. Tang San's pupils dilated instantly. The person who came was none other than Xiao Han, whom he hated the most. Walking side by side with Xiao Han was Lin Zhiro. Chapter 148 Two Major Offerings. Tang San and Tang Hao hid behind the dense bushes, their eyes like torches, staring closely at Xiao Han and Lin Zhiro who were walking towards the Shui Qinghe team. A turbulent wave arose in Tang San's heart. He did not expect to meet Xiao Han here, nor did he expect that Xiao Han would be related to the mysterious blonde woman. Dad, it's Xiao Han and Lin Zhiro. Tang Hao nodded slightly, his brows furrowed, and a complicated light flashed in his eyes. Why did they come here? Could it be? Tang Hao thought of the azure bull python in the center of the forest that could speak human language. Dad, what's wrong? I guess they may have come for the 100,000-year-old soul beast in the core circle of the forest. Is this the core circle of the forest? Xiao San, you also know that soul beast. Tang San was stunned. Dad, I don't know if we are talking about the same spirit beast. I once heard Xiao Wu say that her good friends Da Ming and Ming are both spirit beasts who have cultivated for more than 100,000 years. Da Ming's cultivation it is close to 200,000 years ago. They all live in the core circle of the Star Forest and are the two overlords there. Human soul masters dare not invade their territory. Last time Tang San and Xiao Wu were rescued by Tang Hao from the square in front of the Pope's palace. After Tang San woke up, Xiao Wu was nowhere to be seen. Tang Hao told him at that time that Xiao Wu had gone to a safe place and asked him to devote himself to cultivation. Therefore, Tang San did not mention this matter later. Until now, the father and son had never discussed this topic. Tang Hao said softly. Xiao San, we may be talking about the same spirit beast. Dad, I have always wanted to ask you a question. Has Xiao Wu returned to the Stardo forest? Tang Hao nodded. I know you are worried about her. With those two forest overlords here, she will be fine. But. Tang Hao's eyes suddenly flashed with a fierce look. If they are really going after the 200,000-year soul beasts, maybe we can take the opportunity to get rid of Xiao Han. Then let's wait and see what happens and see what their purpose is. Tang San instantly understood what Tang Hao meant. You can attack Xiao Han while those people are weak from dealing with the 100,000-year soul beast. Xiao Han's growth was too astonishing, and he was a huge threat to Tang San. Moreover, he seemed to be on the side of Wuhun Palace, which was also a huge obstacle to their father and son's plan to take revenge on Wuhun Palace. Therefore, if there is a chance to get rid of Xiao Han, they will do it. Tang San and his son had been quietly observing Xiao Han and Lin Zhiro. Due to the distance, they could only see the blonde woman taking the initiative to say hello to them. Afterwards, the group of people headed deep into the forest, talking and laughing. Tang San frowned, further confirming his guess. Dad, look, Shui Qinghe just disappeared into that group of people, but there was a blonde woman. Well, that blonde woman is undoubtedly Shui Qinghe. I wonder who the blonde woman is. Why does she pretend to be Shui Qinghe? Tang Hao's expression was solemn. No matter what her identity is, it is obviously extremely detrimental to the Tiando Empire. If she inherits the throne of the empire as the crown prince, the entire Tiando Empire will be controlled by her. And she has some kind of relationship with Wuhun Palace. It's scary to think about this connection. Yeah, luckily we discovered the existence of the false prince in time. No wonder he had been helping Xiao Han before. It turns out that they had been in cahoots with each other for a long time. Tang San suddenly thought of Ning Fengji. The thoughtful Ning Fengji has known the fake Shui Qinghe for many years, but he didn't realize that she was a girl. This camouflage technique is truly superb. Xiaosan, they are leaving, let's follow them. Afterwards, the father and son restrained their breath and continued to follow. Tang Hao and Tang San followed closely behind Xiao Han and his party, keeping a hidden and cautious distance. They noticed that this team did not go straight to the core circle of the forest as expected. It seemed that they were choosing a suitable time or waiting for someone to arrive. The two titled Douluo level experts, as well as the many masters accompanying them, were extremely respectful to the blonde woman, almost to the point of obeying her orders. Dad, the status of that blonde woman is very important. To be able to be so awe-inspiring to so many strong men, her status is probably higher than that of Shui Qinghe. Tang Hao nodded. Indeed, her identity is definitely not simple. Several days passed in a flash. The father and son lurked patiently, observing every move of the team. On this day, a powerful wave of soul power suddenly broke the tranquility of the forest. Tang Hao said softly. Xiaosan, someone is here again, a powerful person at the level of titled Douluo. Two figures suddenly landed in the team. After seeing their appearance clearly, Tang Hao's eyes froze instantly. He recognized that the two powerful men were the 5th enshrined Light Ling Douluo and the 7th enshrined demon-conquering Douluo of Wuhun Hall. Xiaosan, it seems that our guess is correct. The relationship between the blonde woman and the Wuhun Palace is far more complicated than we imagined. Even the Light Ling Douluo and the demon-conquering Douluo from the Enshrinement Palace have appeared, indicating that the Soul Palace we take this operation very seriously. Two more band accounts are here. Douluo. Tang San clenched his fists tightly, a hint of worry flashed in his eyes. Dad, what should we do? If they really attack Da Ming and Ming, then Xiaowu. Don't worry, just follow them first and see what their plans are. Tang San's 100,000-year-old right leg bone gave him the ability to fly. Tang Hao was confident that if they discovered him, he would be able to take Tang San away safely even if he was injured. On the other side, in the team. When Xiao Han saw Guang Ling Douluo, he bowed respectfully to him. Teacher, I finally see you again. Guang Ling Douluo smiled and said. Xiao Han, I've heard everything about you. I didn't expect you to have made such amazing progress in such a short period of time. I'm proud of you. Teacher, I have to thank you for this. If you hadn't saved me, I would have died in the hands of Dugu Bo. Moreover, you seriously injured Dugu Bo, so we could kill him. Guang Ling Douluo nodded happily and looked at Qian Runshui beside him. Miss, it's great that you and Xiao Han have known each other for many years and trust and help each other. Light Ling Douluo was loyal to the angel lineage, and he was sincerely happy to learn that Qian Runshui's plan was getting closer to success. Although Xiao Han has not explicitly stated that he wants to join Wuhun Palace, he has been helping Qian Runshui. Guang Ling Douluo saw the future of Wuhun Palace from these two young people. The group of people continued to move towards the center of the forest. In order to successfully hunt down the two overlords in the center of the forest, Qian Daoliu did not hesitate to send two powerful ministers. Qian Runshui believes that their plan will succeed. Chapter 149 found two turtles with shrunken heads. Tang Hao and Tang San were lurking in the dark. They saw that Guang Ling Douluo and demon-conquering Douluo were very respectful to the blonde woman, and were even more confused about her identity. Tang Hao suddenly thought of something. Is that woman from the Qian family? A descendant of Qian Daoliu? Dad, if she is really from the Qian family, isn't she the young master of the Wuhun Palace? Well, it's very possible. They are about to set off, let's follow them. Xiao Han and his group moved. This time they moved significantly faster, and soon reached the core circle of the forest. Roar tilde. Suddenly there was a roar from the front. Immediately afterwards, the entire ground began to tremble. Feeling the violent power, everyone became alert. Xiao Han opened his mental skull and looked forward. He guessed that the powerful force most likely came from one of the overlords in the center of the forest, the Titan ape. The roar of the giant beast was like thunder, causing the surrounding trees to sway and branches and leaves to fly. Qian Runshui and Xiao Han looked at each other, their eyes flashing with excitement and anticipation. The targets of this operation, the two powerful 100,000-year-old soul beasts, were about to appear in their sights. As the team continued to move forward, Xiao Han was suddenly startled and noticed something strange. He noticed that someone seemed to be secretly following him behind. Xiao Han did not look back and said softly to the light Ling Douluo beside him. Teacher, we seem to be being followed. Well, I've noticed it a long time ago. They're just two little turtles. If they were really capable, they wouldn't hide in the dark. It's important to hunt the soul beasts, so leave them alone. Light Ling Douluo looked relaxed and didn't pay attention to the two people hiding in the dark at all. The team continues to move forward. Tang Hao and Tang San were hiding in the trees further away and also heard the roar. Tang San was a little excited, but also a little worried. Maybe, he will be able to see Xiao Wu that he has been missing for a long time soon. However, those people were obviously going for them, and Xiao Wu's situation became extremely dangerous. Dad, is that a 100,000-year soul beast? Tang Hao nodded. It's getting closer. If you really see Xiao Wu, don't be too excited, so as not to expose your presence and affect our plan. Well, I know. The father and son hid in the dark, following Xiao Han and his party. As everyone approached cautiously, the scene in front of them gradually became clearer, and an unprecedented sense of oppression hit their faces. In the center of the dense forest, a lake appeared. A huge creature suddenly came into view. That is a huge soul beast. Its body is like a moving hill, with muscles all over its body bulging, shining with a metallic luster in the sun. Those eyes were like two burning fireballs, revealing inviolable majesty and power. It squatted there, its legs like two huge stone pillars, steadily supporting its hill-like body. Xiao Han knew that this was the Titan ape. The Titan ape seemed to have already sensed the uninvited guests and was waiting here in advance. A powerful momentum burst out from it, and the air was filled with invisible pressure. Faced with such a shocking scene, the group of people stopped involuntarily. Xiao Han took a closer look. On one of the Titan ape's shoulders, he gently held a small figure, that was Xiao Wu. Against the backdrop of such a giant beast, Xiao Wu looked extremely petite, like a fragile flower in nature, being gently guarded by the giant Titan ape. Xiao Wu saw Xiao Han and his group. Their faces were expressionless, and there was a bit of fierceness in their eyes. In the previous Soul Master competition, Xiao for More Novels 49772, join. Wu was hit hard by Xiao Han. It was also because of Xiao Han that her identity as a soul beast was exposed to the public. Moreover, Xiao Han also severely injured Dai Mubai, Ma Hongjun and others. What made her even more resentful was that Xiao Han repeatedly beat Tang San, which not only caused Tang San severe physical but also psychological trauma. This was unbearable for her. She never expected that Xiao Han would lead people to find this place. When enemies meet, they are extremely jealous. This is the territory of the Titan ape and the Azure Bull Python, and they will never show mercy to these trespassers. A cold voice suddenly sounded above everyone's heads. Xiao Han, you actually led someone to find this place. I will let you repay the debt you owe Shrek today, so that you will never come back. As soon as Xiao Wu finished speaking, the roar of the Titan ape sounded again. This time it was no longer an anger or a warning, but more like a declaration, declaring its absolute dominance over this territory and its unquestionable protection of Xiao Wu. Xiao Han smiled disdainfully. Little rabbit, you don't have much ability, but your tone is not small. Is it just this 100,000-year-old soul beast? You underestimate us too much. Xiao Han looked around warily. He knew that the Azure Bull Python was in that lake. That soul beast is more powerful than the Titan ape, and is hiding in the dark, waiting for opportunities. Not far away, Tang San saw Xiao Wu through the purple demon eyes, and was excited when he heard Xiao Wu's voice. His heartbeat quickened and he clenched his hands into fists, trying hard to resist the urge to rush out and reunite with Xiao Wu. Tang Hao gently held his shoulders. Xiao San, we can't act rashly now. Although Xiao Wu is in danger, she is protected by the 200,000-year soul beasts. Besides, this is their territory, and she knows how to use the favorable terrain to protect herself. Tang San took a deep breath, forcing himself to turn his attention away from Xiao Wu and instead observe the surrounding environment. His eyes traveled through the forest, trying to find traces of the azure bull python, while analyzing the layout and weaknesses of Xiao Han and his party. At this time, the demon-conquering Douluo and the light-ling Douluo in that team were also ready. The other two titled Douluo stood on the left and right sides of the blonde woman. Xiao Han and Lin Zhiro stood together. Xiao Wu, I won't let anyone hurt you again. Tang San silently made an oath in his heart. Xiao Wu's voice sounded again. Xiao Han, it's time to make a decision. Today, none of you can leave here, you will all die. Da Ming, Ming, kill them all, leaving no one alive. As Xiao Wu finished speaking, the sky suddenly darkened, dark clouds gathered, and a dull atmosphere instantly enveloped the entire forest. Poof tilde. There was a sudden loud noise on the lake, and countless water splashed everywhere. A huge creature burst out of the water. The behemoth had a huge bull's head, with a diameter of at least more than 4 meters. There is also a huge snake body that is black and blue and several times thicker than a water tank. The pair of eyes that shone with cold light were like two huge gems, staring coldly at everything below. You human soul masters, how dare you hurt Sister Xiaowu, I will make you die a miserable death. Everyone was shocked when they saw the spirit beast with the head of a bull and the body of a snake that spoke human words. Xiao Han knew that it was the azure bull python. The azure bull python's words were filled with endless anger and murderous intent, as if announcing the impending destruction. HMPH, it's just a big snake, but it still dares to speak arrogant words. Demon-conquering Douluo snorted coldly, his whole body emitted strong fluctuations of soul power, and he released the coiling dragon stick in his hand. Chapter 150 Battle against the Forest Overlord. Demon-conquering Douluo has always been arrogant. However, he does have arrogance. After all, his soul power has reached level 96, and he is a peak Douluo in the attack system. Looking at the azure bull python on the lake, Lightling Douluo's eyes flashed with excitement. He knew that this azure bull python was much more powerful than the ordinary 100,000-year level soul beast. He moved his fingers slightly, releasing the Guangling divine bow in his hand, and the wings on his back spread out slightly. Zhang Mo, we haven't fought for a long time. Leave that big snake to me. Okay, then I'll deal with that bulky orangutan, haha tilde. The hearty laughter of demon-conquering Douluo was simply a ruthless mockery to Xiao Wu and the 200,000-year-old soul beasts. Xiao Wu was furious. Almost at the same time, Xiao Han also released his martial soul and soul ring, getting ready for battle. Seeing the 100,000-year-old soul ring blooming with red light, Xiao Wu looked shocked and couldn't help but widen her eyes. How is this possible? Xiao Wu never expected that in less than 2 years, Xiao Han would have reached the Soul Saint level and also possess a 100,000-year soul ring. Not only that, Xiao Han's first soul ring transformed from yellow to purple. Xiao Wu knew that it was not easy to do this. She thought that Xiao Han might have the devouring ability to complete the transformation of the soul ring. Seeing the 100,000-year soul ring on Xiao Han's body, demon-conquering Douluo, Guangling Douluo, Qian Runshui, the two titled Douluo beside him, and the masters from Wuhun Palace all involuntarily widened their eyes. Although they already knew that Xiao Han's seventh soul ring was 100,000 years old, they were still shocked when they saw this scene with their own eyes. After all, Xiao Han is still so young and already possesses the 100,000-year-old soul that soul masters dream of. Ring. Without any time to think about it, Xiao Wu roared. Da Ming, Ming, take action. Kill them all. As soon as Xiao Wu finished speaking, the Titan giant ape and azure bull python simultaneously let out an earth-shattering roar. The aura from the 100,000-year soul beast seemed to tear the entire space apart. They moved and rushed towards Xiao Han and Qian Runshui's group. The huge body of the Titan ape, which is more than 15 meters high, is crushing like a mountain. The azure bull python soared into the sky and shuttled through the clouds, like a lightning-fast dragon. Let me test your strength as a big-headed ape. Demon-conquering Douluo roared angrily, holding the coiling dragon stick, and faced the titan giant ape. Xiao Han and Guangling Douluo faced the azure bull python at the same time. Snake Spear Douluo and Porcupine Douluo stayed beside Qian Runshui, guarding against sneak attacks from behind. The two priests were full of fighting spirit, and Lin Zhiro was not in a position to intervene. She just stood aside and adapted to the situation. Tang Hao and Tang San were hiding in the darkness, watching the upcoming battle. Tang San's hands clenched into fists, his heart filled with worry and anger. He really wanted to rush out and fight alongside Xiao Wu. But he knew that now was not the time. He must wait for the opportunity and look for the possibility of killing with one blow. Mistress, don't worry. Tang Hao reminded in a low voice. What we have to do now is wait for the opportunity. Tang San nodded, took a deep breath, and tried to calm down. He knew that his father was injured, and those powerful men at the title Douluo level were in their prime, so they had to endure it now. The best chance to take action will be when they fight with the 200,000-year soul beasts and consume a lot of energy and are in poor condition. On the other side, the battle between the two sides has begun. Demon-conquering Douluo was shaken, and the coiling dragon stick in his hand seemed to come to life. The red heavenly awakening holy golden dragon sealed inside the stick faintly glowed. With the use of the seventh soul skill, martial soul avatar, all attributes of demon-conquering Douluo were greatly improved at this moment, and his momentum suddenly increased, like a god descending to earth. Accompanied by the sudden flash of the sixth soul ring on his body, the sixth soul skill, demonic subduing coiling dragon pillar, was activated. I saw the clouds in the sky suddenly split, and a huge phantom of a coiled dragon stick descended from the sky with the power to destroy the heaven and the earth. On top of the stick, a red dragon was entwined. The dragon's eyes opened angrily, its roar shook the sky, and its powerful restraining force solidified the surrounding space. Facing this shocking blow, the titan giant ape was not afraid, but instead roared louder. The deafening sound contained endless anger and power. The muscles all over its body were tense, as if every muscle contained explosive energy. The ground was shaking under its feet, as if even the earth could not withstand its anger. Just when demon-conquering Douluo was full of confidence and thought he could suppress the titan giant ape, he suddenly felt an unprecedented invisible pressure covering his whole body. This force made his movements slow, as if he were bound by invisible shackles. Immediately afterwards, this pressure disappeared strangely, and was replaced by a feeling of weightlessness. His body flew involuntarily towards the mountain-like fist of the titan ape. Demon-conquering Douluo was shocked. Only then did he realize that the titan ape was not only incredibly powerful, but also had the special ability to control gravity. At the critical moment, the fourth soul ring on his body suddenly lit up, and the fourth soul skill, Coiling Dragon Body Protection, was activated instantly. A layer of light curtain formed by the condensed soul power appeared in front of him like a shield, shining with light and indestructible. Bang! The titan ape's heavy fist hit the light curtain hard. The huge impact caused the light curtain to tremble violently, but in the end it withstood the blow. However, the force of the counter-shock also caused demon-conquering Douluo to fly backwards like a leaf blown by the strong wind. The demon-conquering Douluo rolled several times in the air, and with his strong strength, he forcefully adjusted his posture in the air and landed steadily. His face was solemn, but his eyes were burning with more fighting spirit. What a titan! I underestimated you. Come again. Demon-conquering Douluo adjusted his posture and soared into the sky again. At the same time, on the other side, Xiao Han and Light Ling Douluo also launched an attack on the Azure Bull Python. Light Ling Douluo wanted to learn the abilities of the Azure Bull Python alone, but he did not stop Xiao Han from fighting with him. He also wanted to see what kind of strength Xiao Han had. Both of them spread their wings, one to the left and the other to the right. The bowstrings in their hands were stretched to the full moon, and they shot cold arrows at the Azure Bull Python almost simultaneously. The arrow collided fiercely with the thick blue scales on the Azure Bull Python, and the crisp sound echoed over the empty lake. The azure bull python's scale defense was like a hard barrier, resisting the two men's initial tentative attacks. Its huge body shook slightly, and then opened its huge mouth. A strong blue light spurted out from the mouth, like a blue torrent, suddenly spreading out. Xiao Han's eyes suddenly condensed. He knew that this was the slow domain of the azure bull python. This skill can greatly slow down the movement speed of opponents in the field, and also limits mental power and perception. Without any hesitation, Xiao Han quickly changed direction and flew higher into the sky. As the red light of the 100,000-year-old soul ring bloomed, the true body of the weapon soul was released, and the momentum of the whole body suddenly surged.